Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well. It is STARJUMP Shipyard. It is Grim. Nice to see everybody. Hopefully, my microphone is coming in okay. I do got the dual mic on here because Art is going to be with me tonight. We're going to have a nice little discussion about Drake and the Kraken and the Ironclad and all that kind of good stuff. But first off, before we get to all that, it is nice to see everyone in chat. You're all filtering in. I do really appreciate that. I know a Monday show is a little awkward and weird. I don't usually do a Monday show, but we're going to do a Monday show because I want to give everyone another big chance to get in Perseus Raffle ticket purchases if you're interested, because the next stream on Thursday for STARJUMP, the next stream on Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be raffling off the first of our St. Jude raffle ships, the RSI Perseus. As many of you know, it is an amazing ship. So I want to make sure we give everyone a good chance there, because once that raffle is ended, then it's just the remaining ships for April. Okay. All right. That being said, I want to get to a few top of show announcements. Obviously, there is a giveaway. Let's go ahead and knock that out. Okay, we do have a giveaway. And do I have it ready? No, it doesn't look like I have it ready. But the good news is I'm pretty fast. So let's go ahead and switch over. There we go. Going to be giving away the med kit bundle, as you see here. That's going to be our little giveaway tonight. For those of you wondering if we're going to have a whole B giveaway, I will be having a whole B giveaway. That won't start until Wednesday, okay? So on Wednesday, whole B giveaway will start. I just said will start, okay? But anyways, doing a little med kit giveaway tonight. These are pretty cool, great to outfit your ship, and actually useful. How do you get in on that? Well, it's very easy. If you're over on YouTube, all you got to go to is to the link pinned to the top of chat. Leave a brand new comment on the new player guide video. You know how this works. Leave a comment there. I'm going to pull a random comment, and if you're over on Twitch, all you got to do is exclamation ticket. That is now live. Get in on that exclamation ticket or exclamation ticket space and max to get your tickets for that. I do appreciate it. Real quick, let's go ahead and get those lovely sponsors out of the way. You know we got to talk about them. First one, I want to give a big shout out to James over at Icon City for donating a 32 key Elgato Stream Deck for St. Jude giveaway. We'll be doing that probably in May. But anyways, don't forget to go to Icon City for all your Icon and Stream Deck needs. Remember, everybody, you don't have to use a Stream Deck purely for streaming. You can use it for an MFD extender, extra buttons, mini keyboard, however you want. A lot of people do ship controls, as you see here with these icons, for Star Citizen through them. You can use them for tons of games, like literally hundreds of games. They're really, really cool. I really encourage you to go to Icon City. They've been a long-time supporter of STARJUMP. You can use the STARJUMP code over there and get a discount, okay? So use the code STARJUMP. I do appreciate it. Next, we got Pigeon Spaceport. The boys over at pigeonspaceport.com. Go over there. You can also use the code STARJUMP. You can get in on that Scorpius model goodness, which they are mass producing as we speak. They're going to be sending one out in May for us to review, possibly giving over one for the charity as well. Not 100% on that, but looking really good. They've been really, really friendly about it. You can use the code STARJUMP over there as well. Okay. Pigeon Spaceport. They've been really great. I cannot wait to review the model, though. Again, I'm going to be brutally honest, but I do think it's going to be pretty cool. Last but not least, our good friends over at Beam Eye Tracker. Beam Eye Tracker, it is a software-based solution for doing 3D head tracking, eye tracking in Star Citizen and many, many other games. Works right out of the box with your webcam. I do encourage you to give it a try, especially if you've been hesitant to invest a lot of money in the hardware solutions for this. Give Beam Eye Tracker a try. You can check them out on Steam. You can also go to this link right here and use my affiliate code and get a small discount. So Beam Eye Tracker, make sure you check them out. Again, really great people. They've been really friendly and just offering up support and all that kind of good stuff. Okay. All right. So that is our sponsors. We've talked about our med kit giveaway right here and how to get in on that. Again, if you're over on YouTube, it's the link pinned to top of chat. Go to that video. You can leave a comment. It could be hello, hi, how are you, goodbye, whatever. It could be a single word. We're going to pull a random comment from whence the stream started tonight. And over on the Twitch side of things, all you can do is exclamation ticket or exclamation ticket space max. Okay. Now, One other thing I wanted to mention, do not forget everyone that I'm making a concerted effort to keep the show schedule up. I genuinely try to do this. Over on YouTube, you can always go to the STARJUMP YouTube channel, click on live, and you'll see upcoming episodes listed there. On the Twitch side, I usually try to have the week scheduled out as well under the schedule page. And now on the Discord, the STARJUMP Discord, there's an events calendar, which I will have upcoming shows for the week scheduled, okay? I've got both this show on there, I've got Thursday's show on there, and then later tonight, I'll be filling that out for next week's shows as well. So for those of you that have been a little concerned about getting completely filled in on when episodes are coming, you shouldn't have any problems, okay? Now, let's get to the next big thing. Now, you all know we are currently doing St. Jude right now, okay? St. Jude. Whoops, stand by. I didn't have my thing ready, but I have it ready now. Anyways, we are doing St. Jude right now, and St. Jude Play Live to be specific. We have some amazing raffles to do drawings for the month of April and the month of May. Our good buddy Dadbod Bard, formerly STARJUMP Ender, is doing some of these as well over on his channel. But we have a number of really great raffles. We are going to be, if you go to the QR code you see right over to the right-hand side of the stream, or if you go to the Tiltify link pinned to the top of the Twitch chat, or the Tiltify link I'm posting right down in the chat. If you go there, you donate a certain amount of money, you can click on specific raffles there that correspond with your donation price. So for example, if you donate $40 via our Tiltify link to St. Jude, you can get a ticket for an RSI Perseus drawing, which will be done on April 9th. That's this Thursday. $20 donation towards the Tiltify link will get you a ticket for the Star Runner and Avenger Titan starter pack. That drawing will be on April 15th. On April 22nd, for a $30 donation, we'll be doing a Merchantman raffle drawing. Really exciting there. And then on April 29th, sort of the last stream of April, we'll be going hard at it. For a $35 donation to our St. Jude Tiltify link, you can get in on the Hammerhead raffle. For a $60 donation, you can get in on the Polaris raffle. We'll be doing all those raffles live on stream on those specific times and days. So get in all that. All the raffles are currently running right now. So if you want to, for example, do a $30 donation towards the Merchantman, you can do that now in anticipation of that April 22nd drawing. Now, do want to shout out our boy GearCon. Everyone knows GearCon. Give them an 07 in chat. GearCon has very generously provided all the ships you see here in this April raffle list. It's a lot of money worth of ships, so that is awesome. Big thanks, GearCon. Do appreciate that. Over on Ender's channel, I know he's pushing a Starlancer tack as well. You can obviously get to that through our Tiltify link as well. I forget what the donation amount for that one is, but yeah, Starlancer
20.
tack is on the board. 20. Okay, Starlancer tack on the board as well. A lot of people loving that ship. Rooster Rage with a $20 donation towards the Avenger, Mercury and Avenger starter combo. Thank you very much, Rooster, kicking us off for tonight. Everyone, it's been going really well. We're at $6,709 raised over 2 streams so far, and now moving into the 3rd stream. I know Ender's been doing some content as well. Now, real quick, again, big shout out to GearCon. One of the things we want to make sure we're communicating very well this year, though, is the terms, okay? These raffles do have terms. Again, all ships generously provided by our boy GearCon. Winners will be contacted within 5 days of drawing via email, okay? Winners will then have 7 days from the time the notification email is sent to claim their prize. Failure to claim the prize within that specified time will result in a new drawing with a new winner, okay? We had a few little things happen last year that got a little dicey. We want to make sure we avoid that this year. So I know Ender is pushing the same thing. These terms are on all the giveaways as fine print, okay? So big shout out to GearCon. It's a crazy amount of ships being given away. Another thing I'll go ahead and key you all in on is the Level Up Expo happening at the end of April. While we don't know what's coming for the Level Up Expo, we are pretty sure there is some new stuff from CIG coming. I am about 90% that we're going to get the 4 consolidated Outland Mustang variants reworked. So essentially they're Mark II or reworked updates. I do think that's what's coming during the level up exam. If that happens, then I'm sure we'll have some Mustangs to give away. Okay. At least all the signs seem to be pointing to that's what's going to happen during the level up thing. If any of you have been hearing me talk about it or been listening to the info runners talk about it, there's a lot of hints pointing towards that. Okay. I can't talk tonight. This is going to be a hard episode. Vermithrax Draco with a $20 donation towards Miss Starlin's attack. Thank you very much, Vermithrax. You are a legend as well. Thank you very much, everyone. Now, I'm going to go ahead and kick it over here. Now, my normal show producer. Oh, by the way, the bot is running. You could do question in brackets or whatever. The bot will pick it up. We'll get to questions. But I will say, my producer is on camera tonight. He just had to be. He wanted to be. He wanted to face you all and deal with the repercussions. So yeah, he's decided to put himself out there, get himself on camera for this one. Why? Because he's also got himself some Bean Boozle. We may both be doing some Bean Boozle tonight. Oh my goodness, Mal. Let's see, Mal533Y. I know that stands for, that's probably something my old man brain can't. Oh no, we got a couple of donations here. $205 donation from Deep Runner 1 towards the Merchantman and the Mercury Starter Pack. Huge, that is huge, Deep Runner. Thank you very much. Salute to you. That is a massive donation. And then Maui, hopefully I'm saying that right. Maui coming up with a $65 donation towards the Merchantman and the Aegis Hammerhead. Another huge donation. Everyone, we're at 6,999. Okay, that's amazing. That's amazing. We do owe you. We essentially owe you a bean already, but we're going to get to that. All right. Everyone, you all know Artorias, my producer essentially for the shows, helps me get them running. Is amazing at getting show notes, scheduling issues, contacting people and guests to possibly be on, working out potential show topics and stuff like that. So big shout out to you, Art. Thanks for joining me tonight. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. It's been, this is long overdue. Although everyone's going to realize how much I make faces at some of your guys' messages and, you know, various other things I do.
Yes. Well, we appreciate you. We appreciate you at the very least.
And got the stuff.
You got the STARJUMP Fleet Viewer shirt on. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that shirt. So how did you get that shirt? You got that shirt because we went to an event called Equinox here in town, here in Columbus. And it was a really cool event. A lot of community groups were there, JRDF, and a lot of really great groups. Atmo Esports were there. STARJUMP had a big booth. I would maybe be risky and say that we had one of the more popular booths, at least.
Oh, absolutely.
So that was really exciting. And we had some shirts that we were able to give out to Artorias and our boy Bingo Winchester because they manned the booth, which was appreciated. I had to do some speaking on stage and stuff, so it was nice to have the team there, so to speak. Obviously not the entire STARJUMP team, was there. We couldn't have everybody. It would have been cool to have, people like Ender and VMXEO and Starlet and everybody there under the STARJUMP banner. Although VMXEO was there.
VMX was there.
He was there.
Yeah, VMX was there.
But he was flying the JRDF flag, which is okay. It's okay.
I got a model.
You got a model. Yeah. We forgive him. But he's got to do what he's got to do. So, but it was nice to see him. I do see VM at some of those events. It's always cool to see him in person. So, okay. So, thank you for the follows, by the way. Foible, thank you for the follow. Do appreciate everyone. We are 20 followers away from 8,200. So, do appreciate that. Getting a good turnout tonight, 100 over on Twitch. And how many do we have? We have 120 on YouTube, which is great. The last few streams, the YouTube numbers have been a little lower than normal, and it's probably because of YouTube propagation. You know how YouTube is. So I do want to send out a big thanks to both communities. Thank you for always showing up and watching the streams and having a good time, because I do think that coalesces and that comes together to make fundraising pushes like this successful. So I do appreciate it. Thank you for the subscribes over on YouTube as well, Nezir. So I do appreciate that. Now, what are we talking about tonight? We're talking about a couple things. And again, the question bot is running. We'll try to pick up questions as we go here. But what we're talking about tonight is Drake. Okay, Drake Defense Con. We're talking about the Ironclad. We're talking about the Kraken, possibly other ships coming from Drake. Okay, we're going to kind of go into a little bit of that, and just kind of open discussion that particular topic. Now, I'll go ahead and open it up. That Evocati or Tech Preview is now out, whatever they want to call it. I think it's Evocati technically, even though it's on a Tech Preview build. We cannot, I cannot show any images. But for those of you that have not, who are not in Evo, who have not jumped on, they have got the sort of initial parts and pieces for what is usually Invictus out and about and put on display. So you can go and check things out, right? So with that, it's really interesting this year. There are some kind of unique things about the Invictus setup. Actually, what do we got here? Oh yeah, so we'll look at this. 1 second here. Oops. Actually, Art, I got to fix something here. Tell everyone what your general thoughts are on Invictus, just Invictus in general. Actually, Brian Havoc just donated $20 towards the Starlancer attack. Thank you very much, Brian. Salute to you, buddy. Art, what is your general opinion on Invictus? Not Defense Con, but just Invictus in general.
I'm a little antsy. I mean, we don't have a lot of information that's come out yet. It's very tight-lipped on what some of these vehicles are going to be. So I am kind of, compared to like past years where we've had the silhouette or some general idea of what's coming, we really haven't got much. And I'm hoping it's not lackluster, but I'm a little worried it's going to be kind of just meh.
Yeah.
Outside of the Drake stuff, I think Ironclad, of course, is going to be huge. But I think the other things, I think it's going to be kind of meh for the other manufacturers, and that's a little disappointing.
But generally, in years past, do you like the Invictus, or do you like the sort of in-game glorification of Invictus, the military celebration, how they present everything? Is that something you look forward to every year?
I enjoy it. I mean, I enjoyed, when the ships travel around and seeing them come in, and fireworks and all the fun things and stuff. And of course, then you had like Xenothreat stuff going on as well. I hope that's coming back, new and improved and more difficult.
Yeah. I've always liked the Invictus events. Invictus too, when they started it, it seemed almost a little bit like it was just going to be sort of a side event, but it's really quickly become a dominant sales event for the year. Caliban Rex coming up with a $20 donation towards the Mercury starter pack. Thank you, Caliban. Appreciate that. Again, everyone, appreciate you showing up for St. Jude. Quick announcement on that. I guess I should do the St. Jude announcement, but, St. Jude Children's Hospital, obviously helping sick kids and their families for a long, long time. Sick kids with cancer, battling that nightmare. The important thing to know with St. Jude, and one of the biggest and most coolest thing that they do, is that the kids are getting treatment at St. Jude, that stay at St. Jude, do not pay a bill. Okay, that is all taken care of at St. Jude, and it is all through your donations. It is very important. And I can't stress enough that the money you donate via via our Tiltify link, whether it's the QR code on screen or via our Tiltify link, I just realized our chat window is too long. I'll have to fix that. Sorry, everybody. But the money you donate is going straight to St. Jude. It does not come to STARJUMP at all. We don't handle it at all. It doesn't come to me and then to St. Jude. You donate it to Tiltify, and Tiltify sends it straight to St. Jude. Okay, so that is how it works. So just for your peace of mind, we do appreciate it. We do appreciate all the donations coming in. So again, I've always really liked Invictus. It's a huge sales event now. It's a major thing that they know they have to put a lot of work into. Again, being on the tech preview, it is very clear there's something different going on this year, though. Okay, there is a different focus. And I'll, again, without being able to share screenshots, which I can't share, the first thing you'll notice right away is when you walk, or when you go up to Bevic Convention Center, which it is in Area 18 this year, and that Area 18 is the focus, I think, only because Well, I think there's actually two possible reasons, but the main reason is because that is where the transit refactor focus has been, and they want that running, I think, for Invictus. I did try out the transit refactor. It works really nice from what I could tell. Now, when you walk up to the Bevic Convention Center, though, immediately you're hit with a ton of Drake advertising. Okay, right in the main hall, walking into the Invictus, celebration, there's a giant picture of a Kraken. Okay, it is, and the Ironclad. It is very clear. There was like no other manufacturers represented except for maybe Tumbrel. It was all Drake all the time when you walk through there, which I thought was kind of interesting. By the way, we got a donation, $55 donation from Mithras1 towards the Star Lancer TAC. Thank you very much, Mithras, and another ship there, but it's cut off, so thank you very much. Do appreciate those donations, everyone. So that's right off the get-go. You see that. Now, the next interesting thing is if you don't go to Bevic Convention Center, if you go just to where the Habs are in Area 18, the IO Tower, and you go up to the very top, if you remember last year during Invictus, what did we have at the top of that tower docked? We had the Idris P. We had the Idris Peacekeeper docked up there, if you remember that. And when you walked in, they had a hologram of the Idris. They had posters of the Idris. They had torpedoes. They had the PDCs. They had all that kind of lined up there so you could see all the attachments for the Idris. This year, there is an interesting difference, though. When you go up there this year, it's still being decorated for Invictus. However, all the posters are Defense Con posters up there, which is interesting. There's a couple things we could maybe surmise from this, and Art, I'd be curious to get your opinion on this. One reason for this could be just a file naming thing. They named all the Drake poster files, the Defense Con files, the same as they named them last year or whatever, and it just got populated into all the electronic posters in game. Sure, whatever. I don't think that's likely, though. The other option here could be that there is no Invictus this year. It's all Defense Con, the entire event being Defense Con. One clue we have to this is that Defense Con runs from May 14th to May 27th. So pretty much the entirety of what is usually Invictus is now Defense Con. Okay, we've seen the poster art for it, right? As a matter of fact, I think I'm, do I have it? Do I not have it? I thought I had it. Stand by, everyone. I thought I had it.
I can confirm I do not have it.
Okay. Why don't I have it? Who failed this? It's me. I failed it. Where is it? Let me grab it real quick while we're talking about this. But pretty much the entirety of the time period that is usually reserved for, what do you call it? Invictus is now solely dedicated to Defense Con. Here, I have a poster here. I'll go ahead and show. I guess you consider this a leak, but we're going to show it. This is the Defense Con poster. Let me switch over to so where you can see it. There we go, everybody. You can see very, very clearly that the Defense Con poster now says Drake Presents, not Drake Defense Con, but Drake Presents Defense Con 2956. It's got the silhouette of the Cutlass as well as the dates, May 14th to May 27th, Area 18, Stanton, Bevic Convention Center. Okay, very important there. Again, showing that the Bevic Convention Center is going to host Defense Con. Defense Con is going to be pretty much for the entirety of what is usually Invictus. Okay, so what would that mean for Invictus? Well, I think the terminology is important here. If you'll notice, the poster says Drake Presents. I think in years past, in chat, please correct me if I'm wrong on this. I could be wrong, but I believe it was just said Drake Defense Con. Drake Presents, I think, sets it up where other ships could be there, other manufacturers could be there. So you could still have Aegis and, Anvil and RSI and all that stuff with the stuff they're going to bring to the table. Again, I'm all but certain the Aegis Hammerhead is an, quote unquote Invictus Defense Con ship this year. But I do think that terminology switch is interesting. Now, the obvious reason for that is Ironclads. We got Ironclads coming, right? However, let's go back to that IO Tower thing. the IO Tower now being all branded as Defense Con is interesting. Will we just have the Aegis P sitting up there again? Maybe. That's very possible. Could we have the Hammerhead Gold Standard up there? We could. Not quite as interesting. But what we could possibly have, and again, we've said this on previous shows, is maybe the Kraken exterior. Okay, maybe the Kraken exterior. I would put that only at about a 50-50 chance right now, but that's a lot better than a 5% chance, okay? There are some reasons I think that, but let me ask you this, Art. What do you think is the case? Do you think now that Invictus is just sort of being mothballed for this year and it's essentially all Defense Con?
Well, wasn't it last year that they had no Drake, right?
Yeah.
That was last year.
Yeah.
So maybe this is kind of the revenge of Drake coming back and being like, you know what? You didn't allow us to show up. Granted, they really didn't have anything to show, but
right.
They didn't have anything. So maybe this is, the overcorrection. We'll call it an overcorrection. It may not. Maybe like the best Invictus ever.
Yeah.
But it may be Drake coming back and saying, you know what? We're taking over Invictus this year.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of interesting too, because again, that terminology switch there, right? So in the past, everyone, let's pause for a minute. Let's pause for a minute. STARJUMP Starlet is in chat. Everyone gives Starlet an 07. You all know Starlet. She is responsible for getting mine and VMXCO's ship stuff into Fleet Viewer, building Fleet Viewer, all that good stuff. Also hanger.link. So if you use that tool and you love that tool, STARJUMP Starlet is the one you want to give the big 07 to, along with VMXCO. Thank you very much, Starlet. I hope you're well. She says responsible for bugs. I haven't seen any bugs in the new one. It's been working great for me, so you got no excuse.
I've been enjoying it.
But if you look at this image here, this is from DefenseCon 2952 or something like that. If you look at here, the terminology is Drake Interplanetary Defense Con. It's very much a Drake thing. It's all about Drake. It's only Drake, all that. So again, it does look like with the new terminology that has shifted, that is something I predicted might happen. So again, now it's very much, Drake presents Defense Con, which I think that terminology difference is kind of important. Pain and Hate, I'm just going to go ahead and answer that for you. It's already live. It's already on the live link. It's not called like Fleet Viewer 2. Internally, I call it Fleet Viewer 2, but you can use it now. It's with all the new features and all that stuff. So just go to starjumpfleetviewer.com or hanger.link and you get right to it.
Well, could we be seeing a instead of rotating days for a manufacturer, could we actually get to the point where we're actually might be seeing manufacturers taking over Invictus year to year as the ship catalog kind of progresses and we start getting kind of focused manufacturers?
Yeah, possibly. I always kind of chalked it up to they could sort of just group it into two, though. And that kind of seems like what they're doing with it saying Drake Presents, and essentially switch it up on who sponsors Defense Con, because Invictus is kind of narrow in some ways because it's really all about combat ships, but it even goes a step further than that, where it's about combat ships that are sort of flown by the UEE Navy, right? So it's like UEE Navy themed combat stuff, which is, there's a lot of ships obviously that fall into that bucket, so that's fine, but it is still a kind of a narrow bucket. Defense Con, especially a Drake Presents Defense Con or a MISC Presents Defense Con, or however they do it, opens it up for all the other ships, right? Now, I could go so far as to say like cargo and industrial ships don't really fit the Defense Con thing, but Defense Con could really be the bucket for all the other stuff, which I do think is going to happen. I've long said that I think there needs to be some sort of bigger industrial event every year. I do think we're going to get that. But regardless, that's how I've been predicting they were going to position it. It looks like they're going to do that. Now, again, I know Jen and Tonic in chat said I was on the hopium. I am a bit. I think every Defense Con, I have come up with some reason why they could put the Kraken exterior out for us to see, even if it was from a distance, right? I think I've said that literally every Defense Con. Okay. I will admit to you when I'm crazy. I have no problem. That being said, one thing we are sure about, we'll talk about this more at the Kraken when we deep dive the Kraken in a minute. One thing we do know about the Kraken is its exterior has been getting a lot of work. If you go back to the Ironclad, they showed us interior white box as the first sneak peeks that we saw of the Ironclad. With the Kraken, that was not the case. The only 2 sneak peeks we've got of it have been exterior shots. Both of those shots showing completely new geometry and some labeling. Not full labeling. They're not complete. Again, the ship's in the white box, just past its white box gate review, going into gray box. But I would say that the exteriors do seem rather far along for where the ship should be in its development. Now, I say that with full humility, knowing that CIG's larger ship team now and faster pipelines has thrown all my predictions out the window. So I guess I'll leave it to you all like this. If there was ever a year they were going to show the Kraken exterior, this is the most likely year that would happen. Okay. That being said, I've heard some people say, oh, maybe they'll put it in the tactical fleet ops as like an enemy ship or this, that, and the other. The only reason I don't think we'll see that, even though they don't technically need the interior for that, the only reason I don't think we'll see that is that one of the things they do need for that is they do need the damage state meshes or the damage states and all the LODs. And I think they usually do that in that final phase of development of the ship. So I don't think we're going to get there on that. That's why, for example, when they put the Polaris in game, I think it was for an Invictus, right? Art was just the exteriors before the ship released.
Yeah.
It's why you couldn't damage it. It had no damage state. John Crew said as much. He said you couldn't damage it because it's got no damage state. It was also flying around with no interior. Many of you remember that you couldn't see through the front glass, for example. So again, not trying to get everyone's hope up, but what I am trying to say is if there was ever if there was ever a defense con or an opportunity to show the exterior, this is it. Okay. That now they could flip the script and make that during IAE. Maybe they show off the exterior during IAE. What I will say is I do think we're going to get an exterior show off of the Kraken at some point, simply because, again, going back to the Polaris, when you're dealing with these big hull limited ships that cost a hell of a lot of money, and the Kraken's going to cost a hell of a lot of money, I think CIG wants to show them off as much as possible and build up that hype because not because when they sell it, it's not going to sell out immediately, but just like the Idris, CIG is going to do a ton of new waves for this thing. Probably, whenever it goes flight ready, you're going to see a ton of new waves for this thing. They're going to want to push it and sell it. Okay. But let's go ahead and jump into sort of the and we are going to talk about the Kraken. We're going to get into it and get into some other Drake stuff. But for now, let's talk about the ship we know 100% is coming. Okay. Oh, by the way, everyone, you'll see up top there, $7,500 goal for St. Jude. If we hit $7,500, and I already talked to him about this, he gave the thumbs up. If we hit $7,500 goal, I will put my fleet up for a Fix My Fleet episode for Algrid and Execute to tear it apart. As I said last stream, though, they're not going to find anything wrong with my fleet because I'm Grim, and obviously my fleet is awesome and has no problems whatsoever. So, that being said, we'll do the Fix My Fleet episode, and Algrid and Execute can have at it. But when we hit that 7,500, that's what we'll do. And I may be a little embarrassed to show my fleet, so we'll see. C Daddy says, can't fix what ain't broke. Nothing truer has ever been said. Nothing truer has ever been said. See, Daddy, my fleet, it's a work of art. It's a work of art. It's been curated. It's like a fine art museum. It's been curated and it's sitting in a really good place. Starlet says the only issue is the Kraken. The only solution is the Kraken to all of the world's problems, Starlet. We know that. By the way, we just got a $60 donation towards the Mercury and Avengers starter combo pack from, let me get that bigger, Vazor. Vazor, thank you very much. And a $6 donation from Anonymous. Do appreciate that. Everyone, that puts us up at $7,160 raised so far for the month of April for St. Jude Play Live. We'll be doing a lot more. We'll be doing a lot more of this. Again, we got some great raffles. C Daddy says, Sergeant Grandma can relate. Yes. Yeah, my fleet is one that I honestly am, in all seriousness, I am very proud of my fleet. It's in a good place. I don't have any real ships that are like problematic. The last, I guess, problematic ship I melted was the the C2 Hercules. And I still really love the C2 Hercules. I love it from a design standpoint, function standpoint. But I do have an Ironclad coming to me, and I'm just going to use the Ironclad for what I would have used the C2 for, so it was more of a redundancy thing. All right. Let's go ahead and get into the first ship, and that is the Ironclad. Okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and say we got the Ironclad giveaway going on. Got the QR code right there. I got a link for you, Tiltify link right now. It's free to enter. This one is coming out of Grimm's own. Do I have the link? Oh, yes, I do have a link. This one's coming out of my own hangar. Okay, this one's coming right out of my own hangar. There you go. You can use that Gleam link, gleam.io link down there for the Ironclad. Get in on that. But yes, we're talking about the Drake Ironclad. Let me see. There we go. We'll sort of run through this ship. Obviously, this is one that is coming to the game at Defense Con, if I can learn how to speak. Both variants, actually, sort of three things coming that have been listed. Obviously, the Ironclad Assault, and the Command Module or Command Module feature. And that will have run-on effects that will touch the Caterpillar a little bit. But let's go ahead and break down the Ironclads, okay? And Art, feel free to interject if you want to add something here. But essentially, the Ironclad is, we're going to talk about the base first, okay? The Ironclad is a large, and I say large because I think it hits around that 124, 126 meter mark, at least the last we know, last we heard, cargo ship, okay? It's got some unique aspects to it, including a command module, an open bay, open cargo door that opens from the top. It's got a ramp that opens out the front, which is kind of cool. It's got a secure cargo storage area, and it's got a command bridge to sort of do that cargo logistical stuff from. So it's got a really interesting layout. I think one of the things that excites people about this ship is how you access the large open interior cargo space. That is actually the biggest thing about this ship that excites me, is how the cargo space is done. It's one big open giant room, okay? Versus like, say something like the Starlancer Max, where you've got cargo on the spine, you got cargo in the back, you kind of got to access it from multiple ways. With the Ironclad, it's all just one big room. Okay, so let's go ahead and...
We all know you're just going to open the top and chuck it in.
That's true. That's true.
Forget snapping to the grid, just throw it in there.
That's how I do it. I'm going to open the top doors and shoot it like basketball in.
Right.
So let's go ahead and break down the ship a little bit here. We're going to look at the exterior first. It's got a one size 5 manual man turret and one size 3 man turret and 2 size 3 remote turrets. Okay, so pretty beefy there on the turrets, especially for a cargo ship. It obviously has a cargo ramp coming out the front. We just talked about that. That can facilitate ground loading of cargo, but also if you want to drive up some vehicles or anything like that, okay? And I do think a lot of people are going to use that cargo ramp to use this as sort of a mini ad hoc carrier, okay? In addition, we got 3 size 2 tractor beams, so quite a few tractor beams. Again, all those tractor beams are going to be controlled via the command deck up here at the top of center of the ship. Last we heard, at least. The cargo access is through a retractable armored roof. So again, this does carry all of its cargo internally, and you can access it through this roof. This is going to be a great ship for salvaging crash sites, ripping out components, maybe even recovering damaged ships, I see the Ironclad sort of being used in some interesting ways purely because of how those doors open. We don't have any information on this yet. We've seen some stuff in some of these concept images, but all I can really hope for is that CIG has made sure that those doors can open fully up with no real obstructions in the way, and that I think is going to open up a lot of opportunities for this ship. Okay. By the way, got a few subscribes over on YouTube. Thank you very much. Convergence, Crit Happens, and JS Dragon. Thank you for the subscribes. Do appreciate that. Over on YouTube, got Dr. Monk 1, Foible for the follows. And Foible is subscribed to Prime. Foible, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay. Moving on, the command module. Again, that was feature tech that CIG had to do, and we've heard good progress on that. It has a detachable command module with one size 2 remote turret on it. So when you detach that command module, you're going to be able to fly that around independently. The rest of the ship doesn't have any flight function or flight characteristics at that point. I believe it does still have life support. It still functions as a place to do operations. So you could technically leave your Ironclad in orbit or on the surface of the planet and still be able to use it. It's not going to just be dead in the water. You just won't be able to fly it around. Kenjin, thank you very much. Hope you're doing well. Once you connect the command module, it's sort of reactivated from a flight standpoint. We saw in the PU monthly report just this past monthly report them talk about the command module tech and how they've worked out all the feature stuff, including shield faces changing, flight authority changing over, and all that kind of good stuff. So good progress.
Do you think that the life support and stuff will be maintained on the cargo portion?
I do.
Over the
I do. I think so.
Command module.
Yeah, I think that is in some ways. If it didn't, like let's say if the command module was really the Achilles heel to this ship, it's bad enough that when it's detached, the ship has no flight ability. If the command module, though, is what gives it its life support and every other component element, then this ship's Achilles heel is going to be the command module, and everyone's just going to attack the command module, when they battle the Ironclad. I think the fact that with life support components specifically, I think the command module will have life support components, but then the Ironclad will have its own life support components, is what I think is occurring here. So yeah, I think you're going to... For example, if you put a bunch of crafting stations in the belly of the Ironclad, I think you can land it on an outpost. Let's say you're building a base out there or whatever. You're going to be able to land it. You're going to be able to detach the command module. Maybe you go back to orbit and retrieve another whatever. And the Ironclad's still going to be able to be functionable. It'll have power. It'll have life support, all that kind of good stuff. The only thing you won't be able to do is fly it, right?
Right.
I even think it'll still have shields because one of the things they said...
I think it should.
One of the things they said in the PU monthly report is that... we just got another big donation. What do we got here? Stand by. We have a $335 donation.
Legends.
From Araxius for groceries for a family and something Aegis, maybe the Hammerhead. I can't read it fully because it is behind, it's cut off. But Araxius, hopefully I'm saying that right. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that donation. That has pushed us to $7,495. $5 more, and I've got work to do, people. $5 more, and I have work to do. Okay, that's what it's going to be about. Grim will have to do a fix my fleet. That's okay though. As I said, I feel very good about my fleet makeup. There shall be no embarrassment. Okay, no embarrassment. All right, let me grab one thing because I know I'm probably gonna have to push up our goal here in a bit. So I just want to make sure I'm ready for that.
We're at a 4 bean counter, by the way.
Okay. You know what? Let's do some beans real quick. Let's pause before we go to the interior of the interior of the Ironclad. Let's switch over here.
I immediately regret saying that.
Yeah, I regret that you said it. We're gonna have a talk after this. All right, let's get our bean boozles ready. How many beans do we owe right now? What are we up to?
4.
Okay, wait a minute. We just got something. Araxius, who just donated $335, just gave out 5 community subs as well. Araxius, thank you very much. You just hit our sub goal. Legendary Sir, thank you very much. I'm going to pop up the 007 for you because you earned it. You earned it, and that is way too small. That is way too small. Let's get that nice and big. We need that major. There it is, right over our faces. Thank you very much, Araxius. I do appreciate that. You got the 007 for that donation and for the community subs. We also got a $10 donation from Vazor. Thank you very much, Vazor. Donated earlier $60. Thank you very much. That pushed us to $7,505. So before we do our beans, let me go over to our milestones. Vazor, thank you very much. What I'm going to do is set up another goal. We're going to do another goal here. We're going to activate Ender's goal. He has ice bucket time at 8,000. So we're gonna activate that. So we have a new goal at $8,000 raised. Ender will have to ice bucket himself, and he loves the torture. Ender loves pain. He does, and we're gonna make sure he gets it. By the way, everyone, numbers are incredible tonight. We got 146 over on Twitch watching and 200 on YouTube watching. Thanks for hanging out. We do appreciate it. Okay, are we being ready here?
I am ready to dare to compare, as it says on the.
Okay. All right. Where's my beans? Okay, here we go. Oh, and by the way, C Daddy CIG, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Always love that you stop by and hang out with us as we go through stuff. Hopefully you get a little chuckle out of the stuff we speculate on. That's completely wrong, but that's the fun of speculating, right? Okay, wait a minute. Where's my book? Okay, I got my book, so I know what beans we're going after.
Mine's written on the side.
Yeah, let's do the first one. Let's do the first one here.
Okay.
All right, sending it down.
Oh, that's
okay. I got two. I'm picking one. I'll save the other one there for a minute.
Just one.
Okay. Yeah, grabbing one. The double duty. It's rough. It's rough. Okay, so this one here is either. What color is that? Chat.
Oh, that's like a yellow for sure.
Yeah.
Yellow.
Which means. Yeah. This is either wet dog or banana. Wet dog or banana. What'd you get there, Art?
Honestly,
don't be scared.
I think, I am a little scared. I think it is either Stinky Socks or Tutti Frutti.
Okay. I can tell you Stinky Socks is not fun. And Tutti Frutti's okay. It's not even the best flavor out of the good flavors. Okay, so you're in for Closet Monkey just said golden nut. That gold nugget. Yeah, it is kind of a gold nugget. All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Thank you, chap. This is wet dog. This is wet dog.
Tutti Frutti.
Oh, Tutti Frutti. Son of a wet.
That is awesome.
Yeah, Ohio Medic, I do wonder how they tested that. Okay, so you got Tutti Frutti. You're good.
I'm solid.
Oh,
this is.
the weird thing about wet dog is it's not that bad when you start off, but once that backwash builds up, it's not good. But there's no spitting these out. Got to keep going. Rabbit says, "Is there an earwax bean?" No, there's not. Actually, Art, can you read out the flavors?
So I have burnt rubber or licorice, Stinky Socks, Tutti Frutti, barf or peach, booger or juicy pear, liver and onions or cappuccino, wet dog or top banana, which I don't know what the difference between a top banana and a bottom banana is.
I don't know.
But okay.
I don't know.
Toothpaste or berry blue, stink bug or toasted marshmallow, old bandage or pomegranate, and dead fish or strawberry banana smoothie.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I've never gotten dead fish, and that just the sound of it does not sound good. So yeah,
that was the one. Like the color was just enough that I was like, this is either one or the other. And if this is the dead fish stuff, I'm in trouble because I will hurl.
We've gotten some big donations tonight though, so we got to do another bean here. Here's the one from that was picked out for me earlier. Saddle up, Art. I don't even like jelly beans. This is the thing. This is all Ender's fault ultimately. I don't even like beans.
Okay. Black or white. Chat. Black or white. Black or white. Black or white. Black or white.
I got black or white.
Options here. Ooh, black. Y'all are evil.
Seeing some black.
Evil.
Here's the thing.
White. Okay.
Here's the thing. The licorice is, I don't even like licorice, and it's pretty good.
I'm not a fan of licorice either. Okay. So these are kind of like
okay. It looks like it's black to me. There's a lot of
black.
blacks.
All right.
Yeah, it's a lot of blacks. All right. I got this one, which is either barf or peach. Barf or peach. By the way, my daughter is going to do Bean Boozle with me on one of these shows. So.
I can't wait.
Oh, thank you for the follow, Senyo. Sending the Kraken up past the screen. Okay, here we go. Saddle up. God, I hope this is peach.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh God, this had a delay. This had a delay. It says delay. It's a bad one. What is this? Oh, it's barf. Yep, it had a delay. You got it.
Oh yeah, that's.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God.
You know, I regret. I regret doing this. I immediately
you're gonna regret it by the end of this stream. I can tell you that much right now. I can promise you.
Oh, that's making my eyes water.
Yeah, I can promise you, it's bad.
Oh, that was.
I was about to say something. I can't. Yeah, I can't remember. Well, Bleachman says, "Watch Grim Girly get only good ones." Yeah, that's exactly what will happen. Oh, okay. I can't even get. Sometimes they're so bad you can't even get them down. You got to do the shot or something.
That's not a good chaser either. Orange creamsicle energy drink. That's not. That's not good.
I'm about to spit up my drink. Okay, got it down. Got it down. Oh, Ohio Medic's right. Grim seems to get the bad ones 90% of the time. That is true. My eyes are watering actually from that one. That was not good. That was really potent. It was like a delayed fuse on that one. Oh, man. Oh, fun. Oh, my gosh. We got some big donations here. $55 from Happy Merchant. Mercury and Avenger Starter. Thank you very much, Happy Merchant. Salute to you, sir. Appreciate it. And then a big old donation came in, $300 from Charlie McCawson, one of my favorite names actually out of the STARJUMP YouTube or STARJUMP community, who's always here watching. $300 from Charlie for groceries for a family for 2 weeks. How freaking awesome is that, Charlie? Giving you the double salute for that massive donation. That pushes us, everyone, to $7,860. You all also have something against Ender, because at $8,000 the boy has to do an ice bucket challenge, and I'm going to make sure it's a big one. Okay, so we're pushing towards that. Once we cross that milestone, I'm going to set a new milestone, probably for like 8,500 or something, that I think will be kind of cool. You might like it. So anyways, okay, there we go. I was wrong.
I think we should do what Alexis says.
Okay.
We should just start doing Star Citizen quizzes instead of the beans. I feel like that's a much better option.
Can't. You already paid for the beans, my friend.
I did.
You already paid for the beans. All right, everybody, let's continue on. We're going to switch back over. We'll get back to more beans here in a minute. Thank you very much for those donations, everybody. We had some big old donations come in, but it doesn't matter, big or small, they are all important. And since we've had some donations, I want to go ahead and pop back over here. Do not forget, we've got a number of drawings happening over the month of April. When you donate to our Tiltify link, which you can get via our QR code down there at the bottom, or going to the Tiltify link that I have pinned to the Twitch chat and that I'm going to post right into chat right now. By going to that Tiltify link, that is our STARJUMP Tiltify link for St. Jude, and donating a certain amount attached to these ships here, you will get a ticket for that drawing. So on April 9th, which is this coming Thursday, we're going to do a drawing on stream for an RSI Perseus. That's a $40 ticket donation towards St. Jude. For a $20 donation towards St. Jude on April 15th, we'll do a drawing for a Mercury Star Runner and Avenger Titan starter pack. And on April 22nd, with a $30 donation to St. Jude via our Tiltify link, we'll be giving away a Banu Merchantman. For a $35 donation to St. Jude via our Tiltify link on April 29th, we're going to give away a Hammerhead. Don't forget, that's going gold standard. And then on the same day, for a $60 donation an RSI Perseus. Okay, so a lot of big
Polaris.
stuff happening. Or sorry, I said Perseus. Polaris. RSI
Ships
Polaris. So some big drawings
in the chat.
GearCon in the chat. I was literally about to say it as I said it earlier.
Legend.
Everyone give GearCon an 07. He's right in chat. All these ships you see on screen here, courtesy of our boy GearCon. So if you're excited at the possibility of winning ships, you need to give GearCon a little 07 there. Came through. Big man this year. Came through supporting us. And then over on Ender's channel, there's currently a Starlancer TAC also that you can access via that QR code and Tiltify link. So make sure you get in on that if you're interested in the Starlancer TAC. Okay, I believe that's a $20 donation. We're currently at $7,900 donated. We've had some big ones tonight, folks.
6 days.
Yes.
6 days.
That is true. That is true.
That's insane.
Don't forget the terms and conditions with these raffles. Want to make sure that is clear. Winners will be contacted within 5 days of drawing via email. Winners will have 7 days from the time the notification email is sent to claim their prize, and failure to claim the prize within the specified time will result in a new drawing and a new winner. Altzilla SC coming in with a $40 donation, and Anonymous coming in with a $40 donation, both towards the RSI Perseus. Again, doing that drawing this Thursday, everyone. This Thursday, we're having a big stream. It'll be all about the Hull B. It's going to be really exciting. And that's where we'll do the Perseus thing. So there you go. Thank you for those donations, everyone. You are all legendary. $7,940 raised. I think it's a good likelihood we're going to soar past $8,000, which is incredible. All right. Let's get back to the Ironclad, shall we? Let's go to the interior. Up here at front, we have a brig and additional storage with extra security. Again, you're going to be able to store your unmentionables in there. Moving further back, we have, I think, again, what is the big showstopper of the Ironclad series of ships, which is the big open cargo bay. Now, listed here, it says it is 1,536 SCU of storage. That has since been upgraded, as CIG told us. I think it is now 2,200 something SCU, which is a really substantial increase, actually. I mean, that's what, like a 45% increase.
Yeah, that's a lot for just moving ladders and interior stuff.
Yeah, or a 35% increase, something like that. It's a big increase. So shout out to CIG for making that change. I do think that heavily benefits the ship. Originally, and that same change happens to the Assault. The Assault is going up to something like 1,500 or 1,600 SCU, something like that. I don't have the exact numbers. If someone in chat knows, though, please let us know. Again, that really puts this ship, especially the base Ironclad, in that perfect sweet spot between, something like the C2 Hercules or Caterpillar, something like that, and the Hull C. It fits right in that middle part, and we really needed something to fit in that middle part, right? Let's move on. Next, we have an interior turret, a size 1, size 2 interior remote turret. I kind of forgot about this. This is a really interesting thing on this ship. It has an interior turret. I believe this is the first time we've seen this. Is that right? Does anyone know if there's any other interior turrets on ships? Let me know.
I can't think.
Yeah, I got your note there. I'll look into that. I'll Fleet Viewer know. I'll look into that. So yeah, I think it'll be
the first. The Daddy CIG confirms it is the first.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. That is different.
I wonder how the ammunition's going to work for that. Like how?
Yeah, I'm unsure. I
put magazines into it.
I mean, I think for now it's going to work like all turrets works, just going to pull from sort of the invisible ammo locker. But,
right.
Again, John Crew has stated even just recently that the plan is still for ballistic ammunition to be loaded via what I think that is going to be is I think when you buy the ammo, it's going to come in sort of these 1 SCU boxes or smaller, and you're going to load those boxes into a receptacle. That's what I think is going to happen.
Which I'm all for.
I'm all for.
I'm all for. I'm all for that actual physicality of picking up a box of ammo, and even if it's just putting it in a slot, it's that fact I'm moving something versus just being magic.
It's one of those things that, like, I do think this game really does have to balance the gamification stuff with like the systemic realism they want, I've been pretty vocal in saying that sometimes it is a game and you just need to do gamey things. You know what I mean? Sometimes the realistic stuff is super cool. This is one of those situations where it's like a nice in the middle, where it's like, okay, you are going to have to load, right, ammo eventually in the future, but it can just be you're loading the full crate into a receptacle. It gets pulled in. And if you look on a lot of the big ships, especially, I was just walking around the Perseus today, and there's nice little alcoves in and about some of these ships, especially near the cargo areas, that have area for that if they need to add it in a future pass on the ship. So it's good to see. Moving along here, up top here says the control room, says total access, which is an interesting descriptor. This is probably the only point of controversy with the ship. A lot of people want to be able to control the ship from the control room. I am one of those people. However, and I think most people are on the same page, I would be okay if it was not full fidelity control, if it was something more like the Carrack, where as long as the command module was attached, you could fly the ship from the command deck. I think that would be cool, and that would be something I think would really, it'd be a people pleaser, okay? But I am totally fine that if the command module is detached, the ship cannot fly. That I'm okay with. That makes a lot of sense. And maybe that's because the avionics and stuff like that is kept within the command module. So we'll have to see. Lady Violet, nice to see you. But I think that if the command module is attached, then having that sort of secondary flight position from the command bridge, again, that is not the plan. Just so everyone knows, that is not the plan. But if CIG was to surprise us with that, that would be a big people pleaser. Okay, that'd be a big people pleaser. The only argument I can find for them not doing that is that they've obviously put a lot of work and effort into the command module feature tech, and I do think the command module feature tech is going to be really freaking cool. I can see that applying to other ships in the future too, and I think CIG wants us to kind of utilize it, so, you know, we'll see. Okay. Last but not least, cockpit, take control. So essentially the command module, we know that. Moving down here, you can see the Ironclad base paint. And then there is the Ironclad Dauntless paint, which is kind of the concierge. Now, this is the one area I wish CIG would have flipped things. VMXCO, I see VM in chat. Salute to you, buddy. I do wish CIG would have flipped this. The base paint for the Ironclad, I wish was the Ironclad Assault base paint. I wish the yellow and black Ironclad Assault base paint was the base paint for the standard Ironclad. That being said, maybe CIG will be generous to us and allow the liveries to apply to all variants. That would be cool. That would be cool. Maybe we'll see. Or at the very least, make sure you give me a yellow and black paint for my base Ironclad. That's all I'm saying. Okay, next we have the Ironclad Assault. Okay, this is sort of the upgunned, militarized variant of the Ironclad. It does contain more turrets. It's got some differences on the interior. We're going to take a look at that now. Okay. By the way, we just had another $40 donation from Anonymous towards the RSI Perseus. A wise donation. We are now up to $7,980. $20 donation away from poor Ender having to bathe himself in ice water for the first time since last St. Jude. If any of you are wondering, Grim, why aren't you doing the ice bucket challenge? I'm not set up for it. But Ender has volunteered because he made the milestone on Tiltify. He made the milestone. He set the ice bucket challenge milestone, so we're going to punish him. That is coming. By the way, everyone, Ender, or Dad Bod Bard as he is now known, will be traveling to St. Jude tomorrow to go to the campus, spend time with other streamers, other content creators, and members of the Pink Hat Squad as they tour the facilities and visit with, I believe they visit with patients and meet other St. Jude representatives. It's a big time. It's a big event. I know he had a lot of fun last year. It was also a pretty emotionally heavy visit because obviously some of the subject matter, but he'll be heading there tomorrow and we'll be back, I believe, on Friday. But we wish him luck in his travels. Okay. Currently, we are doing really good on money raised. Hopefully, we can send him to the event with some really high numbers on the donation leaderboards. And again, those donations courtesy of you all. You all are making this happen. I'm just up here with the camera turned on talking about spaceships while you all kill it with the donations. Seriously, make sure if any of you are in chat, I see some 07s to Grim. I see some 07s to VM. I saw some 07s to Art earlier. Make sure you give yourself an 07. Chat 07 yourself. Give yourself a salute. Okay?
Pat on the back.
A little pat on your back. You're doing good stuff for sick kids and their families. All right, we're going to scroll on down here. It says here, the assault model... Oops, it switched. Let me go here. Okay, here we go. Welcome aboard the Ironclad Assault. Okay, first thing. Has one size 5 quad man turret, so that is a quad, 2 size 3 quad remote turrets, and 2 size 3 remote turrets. I'm guessing those are just duals, and 1 size 3 man turret. So a few more turrets there, some of those being quads. Moving on up here. It has a fortified front ramp, armored vehicle deployment. I'm not sure what the difference is between that and a normal ramp on the base Ironclad. It could just be marketing language. I don't know if there's a real difference there. Maybe it has more hit points or something. We'll have to see. And then, of course, the command module has a detachable command module with 1 size 2 remote turret. So this command module does have a gun on it, while the base base command module doesn't. At least that's what it seems to be. So one interesting thing there is that means there's kind of, if that's the case, and I may be wrong, maybe I'm reading that wrong, but if that is the case, it'll be interesting because it means we'll have sort of 3 command modules that have differences. We'll have the Caterpillar one, the Ironclad one, and the Ironclad Assault one. So kind of interesting. Oh my goodness. Heathkilles just donated $20, which made us hit $8,000 goal. Everyone, we just hit the goal. We just hit the goal.
Legends. Absolute legends.
Yes. Everyone give a big old salute. I need to set a new milestone. Okay. We're going to pause here. Chat, everyone, we need a new milestone. Art, what ideas do you have? I have an idea, I think, but does anyone have any better ideas? Put them in chat if you have a good idea for a $9,000 goal. Okay? We're looking for a $9,000 raised goal. Okay, if you have
I think we should make it a $10,000 goal. I think 10,000 is a nice round number.
You might be right. I think we do have, you know what? That's a good round number. Okay, I got it. Here's what we're going to do. Ooh. If we hit $10,000, I am going to do a Phasmophobia game night.
Oh, that's terrifying.
With Mrs. Grimm. Okay, we're going to call her Mrs. STARJUMP. Or we're going to call her Mrs. Grimm. Okay, Phasmophobia game night with Mrs. Grimm. That's what we're going to do. Bring the wife on. She does know a little bit about Star Citizen. And that's how we're going to do it. Okay, save those changes. That'll be a good one. That is now activated. Confirming the activation. Should update. Yep, there it is in the progress bar. That has been active. Let's see, it should reset in a second. Lady Violet asks, where do you donate? Hey, Lady Violet, that is an easy question for me to answer. All you got to do is scan the QR code on your screen, that St. Jude Play Live stream, or you can go to the Tiltify link Art just posted. Thank you very much, Art. Okay, everyone, our next milestone is $10,000 raised. If we hit that, the wife is going to stream with me. Okay, she's going to get on here. We're going to play some games. Okay, it's going to be good. As a matter of fact, I'm going to change it. Not Phasmophobia. We're just going to do game night with Mrs. Grimm. Okay.
Ooh, there you go. Golf with friends.
Might be a few things. We'll just see how much.
That gets a little competitive if I remember hearing that correctly.
It does. Army 2 Willis just donated $100 towards the RSI Polaris. Army 2 Willis, thank you very much. By the way, everyone, if you donate enough money for 2 tickets, you can get 2 tickets to a particular raffle. So thank you very much, Army 2 Willis, for that donation, pushing us to $8,100. My God, incredible. Appreciate it. Let's go to the interior of the Drake Ironclad Assault. Drake, best manufacturer, by the way. All right, moving on here. The first thing is this. Oh, you know what? I forgot about this fact. This ship has 34 jump seats.
I mean, it's an assault ship, so it should have.
I think this has become the new
dropship,
major dropship. 32 Absolutely. Or 34 jump seats. That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's more than the Valkyrie. Valkyrie's, I think 20.
Yeah.
So you're looking at like platoon with vehicles and stuff like that. You're looking at like a mechanized platoon.
Yeah.
Size of hate.
That is a lot. That is a lot of people you're bringing to bear. And then remember all the support vehicles, mechanized, motorized, that you can bring on. In addition to that, all in the same vehicle. You start to really get into an interesting. Again, talk about that next step up from something like the M2 Hercules or something like that, right? So that's really cool. Actually, we're going to pause there. We can get back to this. I forgot. We hit our goal. And $30 just came in from Liquid Frost towards Merchantman. Liquid Frost, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Some incredible donations tonight. We owe y'all a bean. You know I wasn't going to let Art get away from it. Here we go, everybody. Hoping. Get your beans ready. Ugh. Get your beans ready. Okay, here we go. Let me grab myself a bean. Come on.
Oh.
Yeah, here we go.
Just the single. I'm getting good at this whole single bean thing.
I think this is okay. So I got either burnt rubber or licorice. It's going to be one of the two. I actually like the licorice one. What you got, Art?
Happy. Either peach or bar.
Okay, peach or bar.
After last one, it didn't go over well.
I can tell you that barf is pretty horrible. Pretty horrible.
Thanks.
Burnt rubber's no fun and is hard to get. It's hard to get that taste out of your mouth. I'm not gonna lie. Burnt rubber's really hard. All right, everybody. Art, cheers.
Cheers.
Licorice. I'm good.
Peach.
Sweet. Peach. Sweet. You know what? The liquor, I don't even like licorice, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Ohio says it's going to be burnt rubber. It's not. It's licorice. I finally got lucky. Don't worry, everybody. We're going to do another bean here in about 2 minutes. We're going to switch back over while we're enjoying our beans. I'm going to choose slowly because this one's pretty good. Pretty good.
You got to savor it.
Let's savor this one. Moving on. Interior turret, again, has that interior turret. Control room as well. And the cockpit, it didn't have the repair bay listed, which is interesting. We're going to get to that, though. Let's continue on here. One of the interesting things about the Ironclad is it has this secondary room back here that the base doesn't. And this secondary room is supposed to be for the repair and servicing of ground vehicles. It'll remain to be seen how extensive that is, but what I am expecting is possibly a small crafting station, something like the one on the Clipper, maybe a step above that, I don't know, but something around that. I think it'd be the one from the Clipper, and maybe there'll be some, I'm really hoping, they haven't mentioned anything about this, but I would love if this ship had the ability to repair, rearm, and refuel ground vehicles.
What? It does have that. That's in the.
Is it okay?
It's in the description that it's supposed to be able to repair ground vehicles.
Okay,
it doesn't
cool.
say rearm, but it does say repair, if I remember correctly.
Gotcha. Okay, so with that, the great thing about that is, again, we know that tech is being worked on, supposedly going well. I believe they just had sort of their first play test of that, and it went well. That will be that tech, that repair, rearm, refuel tech will be used for. For the Idris, the Polaris, later on the Javelin, ships like the Carrack, I think will get stuff like that in its little hangar, ships like this, and then obviously the Kraken, when that comes out. So it really ups the usage of those big carrier type ships. So moving down here, obviously you can see the paint job for the Ironclad Assault. I really love this paint job. Again, I hope you can put this on the base Ironclad. Come on, CIG, don't let me down. Arts, they said you're blurry, Art. I think you have to put your hand close to camera to get it to focus back on you.
I like being blurry.
He likes being blurry. He's actually, Art is very explicit.
Oh, very blurry.
Yeah, and we have to censor Art a little bit. We have to censor Art a little bit.
Oh.
You might have to put your hand up towards camera and then pull it back. Try that. Art's up. There you go. You're good. You're good.
I like being.
Yeah. Blurry. So, and then obviously they do show the Dauntless paint on the Ironclad Assault, which again gives me hope that you're going to be able to put all paints on both of these. So there's a little bit of promise there. So anyways, those are the two variants of the Ironclad. Both have been in development for some time. Again, we heard them going through white box for quite some time. And CIG was constantly saying how that was working on the flow of the ship. You know, they were spending a lot of time on that, how you get from A to B to C within the interior of the ship. I do personally hope that has paid off to be one of those ships that just works really, really well. Let's see. Which link are you talking about, Art? And I saw
that one for the Ironclad.
Oh, yeah. I posted it in chat. This webpage? Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll post it right down there.
People were asking, so.
Yep, no worries. Okay. Now, that's the Ironclad. Again, supposed to be coming at Drake Defense Con. Again, you can go online to Star Citizen Tools. You can go to the CIG web, the RSI website, find out all this information. But just to go over a few additional details, the base Ironclad now up to 2,204 SCU of cargo, and the Ironclad Assault up to 1,440 SCU of cargo. So what's really interesting is the Ironclad Assault is now sort of sitting where the original Ironclad was in terms of cargo. And I remember a lot of people saying back then that they're like, man, I really like features of the Assault, but I do like the cargo capabilities of the base Ironclad. Well, now you kind of can get that with these SCU changes. You can get that roughly 1,500 SCU of cargo and all the other features of the Ironclad Assault that brings to the table. So I think it's going to be an interesting decision for people once we do get the Ironclads in game on which one to choose. I think it's going to be really, really interesting. Features, obviously. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to hope to be able to just drop this. I'm going to test it because it's me. I want to drop this from altitude. I want to be able to drop this assault pod from altitude. Within reason, obviously not from upper atmosphere, but coming in, being able to hit two buttons, drop it off to all right, go on, little minions of hate.
That's cool. We don't treat Drake ships like that, Art. We just don't do it.
I'm all about getting in there quickly. Get in there quickly.
Shouting out a few people too, real quick here. GearCon earlier cheered 200 biddies. Thank you very much, GearCon. Appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate those raffles as well. You're killing it this year. Blind Fat Kid, that's a hell of a name, just followed a little bit ago. Thank you, Blind Fat Kid. I do appreciate it. Bino742, Vazor, and Bretley just hit a 5-stream streak. Thank you for those follows, everyone. I do appreciate it. Just to give everyone a heads up, we're 15 followers away from the 8,200 follower mark. So, oh my...
No, jeez.
All right. Stop the stream. Stop the stream. We just got a $1,500 donation from Lady Violet. Lady Violet, everyone in chat, give Lady Violet an 07. Give her an 07. I've got to find the 007 loop here. Where's my 007 loop? Oh, here it is. Got to throw that up. Lady Violet, I'm going to give you a little personal message from me. I greatly, sincerely appreciate what you just did. That is a massive, massive donation. I don't know what to say. That is a huge donation, pushing us to $9,630. That is incredibly generous, going to 1 day of chemotherapy for a patient. And remember, everybody, the treatment that St. Jude does, very expensive cancer treatments, as any of you knows who have been to the hospital in any way, shape, or form. It's always expensive. Everything's expensive. But 1 day of chemotherapy for a patient is a huge, huge deal. Because remember, those patients that get that therapy, those kids that are there at the hospital with their families, those kids going through cancer, they pay nothing. Their families pay nothing. That is incredibly generous. I just want to say, too, we are now at a lifetime fundraising mark of $50,188.
That is absolutely outstanding and amazing.
I'm just sending a quick message here.
Do we get a grim pole dance? Yeah. Do we get a grim pole dance for that?
Grim pole dance. I'm gonna, man. We're gonna hit the wife stream, no problem, because people like Lady Violet. The Lady Violet, though, that is amazing. Let me just taking some notes here. Thank you very much. That's incredible. Wow. Insane. Maybe I do have to do an ice bath. I'll probably have to set the next milestone as an ice bucket challenge for me. I can barely walk right now, though. My knee is a mess, so I can only see myself not only not being able to walk, but also freezing cold and in trouble. So.
I mean, it beats here's the thing, though. Ice bucket, shaved beard, ice bucket every day.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that beard has character. You can't lose that.
It does. Yes, it does. It does. That is incredible. I'm still a bit speechless. That is amazing. We've had some huge donations over the last few streams. Again, this is our third St. Jude stream. We'll be going all through April. We've had some massive donations. That is the biggest so far. But it doesn't matter if you donate $5 or $1,500. They all matters, everybody. It all sincerely matters. And everyone, again, awesome donation, Lady Violet. Thank you very, very much. We had to go a full stop on that one. We had to go full stop. And you know what this means. Because Lady Violet did $1,500, we got to do a double barrel bean. Ooh. 2 beans. Ruger Blood Moon says, my next goal should be my daughter takes over the stream for a day. Whew. Okay, yeah. She'll love it because she loves streaming, but I'll consider that one. All right, here we go. 2 beans. 2 beans. I got to get 2 beans on my left. I got 2 beans right here. I'll show them. They just came up. And remember, Citizen Groza, I'm going to answer that question for you in 1 second. Meat just gifted a tier 1 sub to Lady Violet. Thank you very much, Meat. Appreciate that. Thank you very much, Lady Violet, now a subscriber. Here we go. This pain, I can promise you, this won't taste good. This is double barrel bean challenge because of that massive, massive donation coming in. Here we go, everybody. I don't even know what flavors this would be. It would be either burnt rubber and licorice or Old Bandage and pomegranate. The best scenario for me is licorice and pomegranate. And the worst case is Old Bandage and burnt rubber. So there you go. No winning for me here.
Stinky Socks or Tutti Frutti and toothpaste or berry blue. So I think one will be okay. The other one is going to suck immensely.
Yeah. This is going to be bad. I'm actually pulling up something real quick here. I want to get it ready for after we eat these. Okay, let's do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. Down the hatch. Oh, no. Oh. It's all wrong for me. Both are bad. I can't talk. It's Old Bandage and burnt rubber.
It's toothpaste with with the socks. So they seem to like it. The toothpaste is cleaning the socks.
Oh,
not great.
I didn't
know. Not terrible.
I didn't know two things could be nastier. Hey, Victor, I hope you're doing well, buddy.
I'm good. Oh, whew. That was.
This is bad. This is real bad. I need some drink. Oh God. Oh man, and it's such a big bean wad in my can't swallow. And my mic and my camera just went blurry.
I immediately like split it and put like one in each cheek because I was like, that way I can situate.
There we go. Okay. Oh my God, it's bad. It's really bad. I can't get it down. I literally can't swallow it. While I'm trying to unsuccessfully swallow this, I'm going to bring up something real quick because I want you all to see it. I just realized you can't see it. Let me.
I was going to say,
bear with me. You all see this? This is the St. Jude Play Live ladders going on right now. Okay. 33,892 raised so far for the Play Live campaign for April and May. Go down to the ladder. STARJUMP's in number one at $9,630 raised. So 1/3 of that from your all. Oh, a minute. It's going bad. I can't get it down. I can't talk. I'm going to start talking like I've had health problems here in a minute. We are the top overall fundraiser so far, leading the pack, which is really exciting to see. Top fundraisers this week. So we're top for the week as well, of course, with those super high numbers from you all, which is absolutely incredible. And then on the team side, STARJUMP is part of the Pink Hat Squad team, which is a whole bunch of people that come together to start doing money raising, and Pink Hat Squad obviously in the lead as well. So going back again to the top overall fundraiser ladder, we are sitting real pretty at $9,630 raised. That's amazing, y'all. That is amazing. I think I'm having a stroke. I can't get it down. Damn it. This is bad. Beg for mercy. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Salute to you over from the enemy contact org. Okay.
I need to link up with them. We need to get some mutual org stuff going on. Of the
great group of people.
Variety.
I need to invite you to their Discord. Awesome to talk to. I've jumped in there.
I'm in there.
Oh, I jumped in there a number of times. It's always fun to talk spaceships with those dudes and talk other things, but love talking spaceships with them. Great group. Let me see if I can swallow a drink here. All right, everybody. We talked about the Ironclad a little bit. We're going to get to Kraken in just a second. I do want to power blast through a few questions, though. Can we hit some questions, Art?
We can. Maybe if I can pull it up. Let's see here.
By the way, everyone, do not forget, we do have our medic kit giveaway going on tonight. If you want to get in on that and you're over on YouTube, go to the link pinned to the top of the chat. Click on that link, go to my new player guide video, leave a comment over there. I'll pull one random comment. And if you're over on Twitch, just do exclamation ticket or exclamation ticket space max. Again, that is for a med kit pack giveaway from the subscriber store. So sorry, go ahead, Art.
Are you looking for just Ironclad specific stuff, or
let's start with those. Yeah, let's start with those. You ask. I'm gonna crack a window.
Okay. Verthamex Draco asks, do you think that the Ironclad will be able to refuel and repair ships or just ground vehicles?
I assume it can repair, rearm, and refuel anything. Again, that kind of goes back to that systemic nature that's, thing that CIG does. And I think that it's just going to repair anything.
Well, it depends on, I honestly think it depends on where that repair station is located. If it's back in the back corner in a certain spot where only a vehicle can pull back there, then I think, I think people are going to try to get other things back there. But
yeah, that's a good point.
I honestly hope that it's only ground vehicles, and I know people are going to hate for that, but I don't like it when CIG kind of blankets all over one thing.
Yeah. I think it'll do anything. I think you could pull a Pulse in there, a Nova tank in there. I think it's gonna take care of it just fine. Yeah.
Lady Violet says if it fits, it fixes. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, I think, and again, that sort of goes back to that systemic nature of things, right? If it fits, it sits. If it fits, you can fix it, right? And I would hope the same applies to ships like the Kraken and stuff in the future, where even though, it's more for medium ships. Let's say you are able to land a caterpillar on there precariously, you should be able to like fix it or repair it. I do think it's going to work that way. And by the way, everyone, thank you for the follows. Thank you for the subscribes tonight. We are ticking right along. Tico Rico just followed. Do appreciate that. We are only 14 away from our 8,200 follower goal. So thank you. Okay, next question. Let's power through some questions.
Dillman94 asks, do you think the Ironclad is going to be the Perseus for Best in Show?
Yes.
I think it's going to be, I think, well, because it's now, what, 4 of them, correct?
Mm-hmm.
They do the top 4 instead of just
true.
the top 1. If it was the top 1, yes. If not, I mean, I do think they're going to be, because they're going to be in different categories, I believe. I think they're both going to take it for sure.
I think they'll both be in that top. I do think well, you know what? Actually, the Ironclad does have one bad thing working against it. It's split across 2 variants. And if you know from the Best in Show thing, they really stay variant specific on that. So that could hurt the Ironclad. The Perseus, still an incredibly amazing ship. I think one of CIG's best ever. So it could have something going for it. Yeah.
So let's see here. Kipsick 001 asks, do we know how well armored the assault is for the Ironclad?
I don't think we've seen any numbers for it. I mean, I would assume that it's got at least a 30% uplift on armor and stuff over the base. I would think something substantial enough, like 30, 40% more maybe. There's another donation. Rough Gaming, longtime STARJUMP supporter, coming in with a $70 donation towards the Merchantman and the RSI Perseus. Rough Gaming, thank you, buddy. I do appreciate your generosity tonight. Thank you very much. Pushing us to $9,700. Incredible. Next question, Art. I love this community. This is a great group of people.
They're great people, man.
They're good people. It's a good crowd here.
They're good people.
It's a good group.
It's the best group around. A little biased, but whatever.
I'm very biased.
Altzilla SC asks, how much bigger is the assault entrance? So how much bigger is that entrance? Do we know?
That's a good question. We don't know because the model, let me pause there. I don't remember checking the hollow model ramp size, but I do feel like that would have caught my eye. So I do think that they are, at least in the hollow model from the original concept mesh, they're the same size. But Kenjin and SC saying 2 extra meters wider than the base version. I think that would be awesome if that's the case. I don't know if that was answered in a Q&A or not. But I would love for that to be the case. Yeah. Any other Ironclad specific questions? We may not get to every question tonight, everyone. I was informed by my wife via text that my daughter's a little under the weather tonight, so I probably won't go super long on the show. But we'll do another 30, 40 minutes here. And so we probably won't get to every question, but when we do our our big show on Thursday, we'll circle back and get questions again.
Mountain Stunner 1479 says, though I RP as a Drake hater, sorry, that's terrible.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna finish the question, honestly, is what
I
not gonna do. Okay. I'm happy for all looking forward to the Ironclads. The team always does a great job on Drake ships. What will be the biggest drawback for the Ironclad?
I actually think its biggest drawback is going to be its one divisive, controversial aspect, and some people really don't like this in ships, and that is the asymmetric, flight position, flight control piloting position, being off to the far left-hand side via the control or the command module.
That's going to be a pretty big blind spot.
It's a big blind spot. It also is VMXEO says it won't have ornithopter wings. It's true.
That's a fact.
But I think that even with the caterpillar, it's a love it or hate it thing. Some people love it, some people don't. I do like it. I think it's really cool, but some people just do not like it. I mean, there's some tried and true do not like asymmetric stuff. People that play this game. So I think that's going to be kind of a divisive thing for the Ironclad. Oh, other than that, I don't see a lot of negatives. The only other thing I've seen is some people criticizing the whole secure storage area as being maybe a little kind of strange and undefined. But what I'm hoping is that secure storage area is also maybe a little bit shielded against scanning. That would be kind of cool. But yeah.
Or requires, hacking to get into it.
Yeah.
You can't just blow it open and get in there.
Yeah. 1 second here. Go ahead and get to the next question. I'm just responding to a text from my wife. My daughter's okay, everyone, by the way. Appreciate it. She's just a little under the weather today.
Kengen NZ, I butchered that, and I am sorry. Question, do you think the medical bay should be on both Ironclads instead of a secure lockup?
Great question. Do you want to take that one first? I do have an opinion on that.
I don't think it should have one. The big thing is CIG did this whole big push with putting medical beds and everything.
Yeah.
And I think once we get to Death of a Spaceman and stuff like that, if you start putting medical on everything, then what's the purpose of the Apollo? What's the purpose of the hospital ships? I understand different tiers of medical, but if we start putting, medical on everything, then it kind of takes away those ships that have a medical for a purpose.
Yeah, I would probably
plus you could totally load a vehicle that's medical in there and
Yeah, I would probably just across the board agree with that. One thing I would maybe say, and I've heard a lot of people argue with me against this. Actually, I remember me and Ender got into a little kind of debate about this, and I could see the point he was making. I had my own points, but one of the things I had talked about back then was that much how crafting stations work, where you can put them on the cargo grid, so you can essentially turn any ship into a crafting ship. I've always felt that way about medical beds, to the point where maybe not tier 1, but I was always thinking like maybe tier 3 medical beds. Is that the least powerful ones? I always forget. Yeah. The tier 3 medical beds, I would like to be able to put them on any ship in the cargo area as long as there's grid space for them, with the negative that they maybe pull a little bit of power from the ship. But I personally would like that flexibility. That way you could turn an Ironclad into a mobile hospital ship or something like that. The counter argument to that, and I think this is what Ender made, and I get the counter argument, and it does make a lot of sense, is you do sort of take away some of the specialness of a medical ship. And I do think that's a good critique of that, or a good counter to that debate. But again, I like the flexibility, and I would love to walk into someone's ship. Let's say they have a Hercules, and to see them outfitting it as a medical ship. Like, that would be kind of cool for me. You know what I mean? So if you see a Hercules flying around or an Ironclad, you don't really quite know what you're dealing with. Is it a cargo ship? Is it a crafting ship? Is it a medical ship? I don't know. I would kind of like that. All right. Let's go to the next ship on the discussion docket. Okay, again, we're not going to get to every question, everybody, but I promise I'll get to them on Thursday. You know I always come back to these. Let's talk about, the ship. The big, the bad.
The one, the only.
The only ship that really matters in this game. C Daddy CIG knows this as well. He agrees. I can speak for him in this regard. He completely agrees. Best ship coming to the game, for sure. The Drake Kraken. The multi-role light carrier. Yes, I said light carrier. It's considered a light carrier. But it is Drake's capital ship. Okay, this is the big bad boy. A lot of people say the counter to the Idris. I look at it as a very different ship from the Idris in terms of how it should be used. But we'll see. Lady, because you knocked out that massive donation, I'm going to grab your question right from chat. It says, Lady says, Grim, do you have a guess on what the size might end up being for the Kraken? Yeah, I'll definitely address that actually really quick. And how I'm going to do this, I'm going to swing over to Hangar.link or StarJump Fleet Viewer. We're going to bring up two things. We're going to bring up the Kraken, and we're going to bring up a landing pad. And we're going to go to the capital landing pad. Okay, so bring that in. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab both of those objects and put them to top-down view so that they're size specific. Okay, I'm going to grab our Kraken. I'm going to bring it to the front. Now, the Kraken is currently 270 meters long in its concept. I did ask Gavin Rothery, the designer of the Kraken. He did confirm it is 2 metric. Okay. If I put this over the capital landing pads, you will see that it just fits. It just fits. Now, what I think that means is that it won't grow. If it does grow, it might grow like a meter or 2. John Crew has also said that the Kraken has plenty of unused space inside of it, so it doesn't need to grow from a lack of space. It can't really grow from a landing pad size. However, and remember, they want the Kraken to be able to land. If the Kraken was to get substantially bigger, like push to 285 meters or 295 meters or something like that, you really start getting in a place where the capital landing hangars have to grow and scale to accommodate the Kraken. I'll tell you this, Lady Violet, I personally hope it doesn't grow anymore because I want to be able to land the ship in the capital hangars. I don't want to have to always dock it. So that's my personal hope, is that it stays at that 270 meter mark so that we can land it anywhere. That's my current thinking. So going back to the Kraken here, though, release the Kraken. Drake's first capital ship is here. You're welcome. I think that was the best statement CIG could have made. They have the amazing trailer here. You've seen it many times. I don't think we need to watch it. Again, power to the people for private or corporate protection. Again, this is being positioned as that mobile base. This is that mobile headquarters ship. Okay, if any ship was going to be the mobile space station ship, this is it. Okay, we just got a $50 donation from Groza for art supplies for St. Jude and towards the Merchantman and Starline's attack. Groza, thank you very much. I salute you. Thank you for that $50 donation. Amazing, pushing us to $9,750. Could we hit 10K tonight? It's possible. We got a crazy, we actually have a kind of insane audience with us today. Kind of an insane audience. C Daddy says so much room for activities. I agree. The ship has a lot of space in it for sure. Okay. Says this here. Our designers tapped into the same intensive consumer outreach practices that conceived the Vulture and pulled forth the unyielding spirit of protection. The Kraken is the result. Going into lore for a minute, remember that Drake is now led by a new CEO, Andon Arden. I believe I got his name right. And Andon Arden is trying to push Drake away from the pirate supporting sort of company to more the power for the people, militia sort of company. I sort of consider it a blue collar company, right? They're making ships for the people. Okay, that's sort of the lore change there. In these 2 images here, you can see the Dragonfly repair bay or the Dragonfly deployment room, as well as one of the 2 interior hangars on the starboard side of the ship here, housing a Buccaneer. Okay. Going to the cross section of the ship here again, you can see this is a massive ship, cavernous ship here. It's got 5 manned and 4 remote turrets positioned at strategic vantage points around the ship. They provide the firepower to blow even the most daunting frigate out of the sky. We do not know if the ship is getting PDCs. I certainly hope it does, but we don't know if it is. I believe someone in my Discord, and I want to credit them, stand by. Lecro reminded me, showing me the Perseus Q&A, that CIG did confirm that manned turrets as well as remote turrets will both have the ability to be AI bladed at some point. So I do think that will help this ship. It does have a high crew requirement from the turret situation alone. Okay, moving on. Can I close that? Oh, yeah, there we go. It has a spacious multi-purpose hangar, can keep your org topped off with fuel and supplies, spring serious firepower on unsuspecting interlopers, and accommodate a wide variety of vessels. If it fits, it sits. Remember, there are 2 internal hangars on the starboard side. A lot of people don't know that because they're kind of hidden. In addition to that, it has 6 versatile landing pads supporting a varied fleet sort of setup. 4 pads suit smaller fighters, while the 2 upper platforms accommodate medium-sized ships. CIG has pointed out that you can land a large ship up on that deck as long as the profile of the landing gears fit that space. Again, if it fits, it sits. Moving on. The command bridge here is your flying fortress, or command your flying fortress in comfort and with confidence from the state-of-the-art bridge that redefines what it means to captain a capital class vessel. I do think CIG is going to pull out all stops on making this one of probably, let's be honest, probably the one of the most epic bridge views in all of Star Citizen. Because not only are you looking out over the ship, you're looking out over an active flight deck, which is pretty cool. GearCon in chat says, hey, Grim, those side bays, what other than a buck can fit in there reasonably? I believe they are small landing pads in there. So I think you could probably squeeze something up to like, you know, an Intrepid, maybe a Nomad in there. But I think that's about it. I think that'll be the extent. Got a cargo bay. Let's talk about the cargo bay here. Whatever your fleet or cargo needs, the massive main cargo hold has you covered with combined capacity of 3,792 SCU of cargo. It's about 1,000 SCU cargo less than a hull C, but a substantial amount of cargo. The Kraken can adapt to nearly any mission, industrial concern, or business venture. Again, one of the things I love about the Kraken is CIG seems to be positioning it as a flexible capital. Again, it's one of the reasons that this became the first capital ship I bought, is its flexibility. Sure, it can be combat focused. It can be industrial focused, support focused, all that kind of stuff. I love that about this ship. From a dollar standpoint, I think it's one of the safest capital ship purchases because it's got flexible usage. Dragonfly Bay, probably the most controversial aspect of the ship. It says here, the rear of the ship consists of a vast cargo hold and bay designed as a one-stop shop for dragonflies or other small vehicles capable of rapid dynamic deployment. I've heard a lot of people ask that this room be modular. CIG could do that. They could surprise us with that. I don't think anyone would be upset if this room became a modular room. That has not been stated as of this point, though. It is still going to be a Dragonfly Bay for all intents and purposes, or at least that we know of. They have not said anything to the contrary of that. I've heard a lot of people say they've said that, but the last official information we have is that it is a Dragonfly Bay, and it's got a unique way of deploying dragonflies and retrieving them. Again, that could change. Again, I do personally hope it becomes a modular room with a few different types of modules. And then last year on the cutaway, engineering. Easy access to the ship's engineering platform lets your crew effortlessly keep the engine stoked and your flying fortress going strong. If any of you remember the PU monthly report, you will remember that they talked about the engineering room as a core room, a pillar room, and one that is getting a lot of attention, okay? A lot of attention. So be prepared for that. Going into some stats on this, the ship has a max crew number of 10. I think you could go up from that with new engineering requirements and stuff like that. Again, cargo capacity at 3,792. The ship is 270 meters long, 64 meters high. That is a tall ship, everybody. That's like standing a Connie up on its back end in terms of height. Okay, so very tall, and 104 meters wide. Okay, on the width side of things, that is 104 meters. That's like a Perseus wide, which is crazy to think about. It's a big ship. Thank you for those follows, by the way. Tonk Miko Kev for the follows. Do appreciate that. And Texas Horny Toad just had a 3-stream streak. Thank you very much, Texas. Appreciate you. Yeah, so I do think this max crew number will go up. I do think that will go up. You can see some of the images from the Kraken here, including that epic bridge shot there. Again, I think this has the capability of being one of the coolest bridge layouts in all of Star Citizen. Please, CIG, please do not mess this bridge up. Please. Hopefully John Cruz getting that message. Ben Curtis, please, this has to be the coolest bridge setup you've ever done. Make it happen, okay? Again, some more images here of the Kraken. You can see the two. A lot of people have been confused if this is a large landing pad. It is still technically designed around carrying the Cutlass series of ships, which are medium ships at 38 meters long. You can see the two pads here, 5 and 6, labeled appropriately for medium ships. Okay. moving on the pictures here, another bridge shot. Again, it's going to be so cool looking out over that active flight path. Moving on here, you can see the ship in action. You can get a sense of scale here with the little characters on the flight decks out here servicing ships. Again, a very big ship. This is the one of the internal starboard hangars that houses a Buccaneer or any appropriate sized ship, again with full repair, rearm, refuel capability. Another beauty shot, another beauty shot, another cool shot. This technically, I think, was used for the the Kraken Privateer stuff. We'll go on the Privateer at a later stream. Yeah, just a big monster. A lot of people are excited for this. There's that Dragonfly Bay. Again, I do think it's the perfect room to make a modular room. In terms of space, there has been a lot of discussions on what other rooms could come to the Kraken. John Crew did mention that a medical facility of some type will come to the Kraken. That goes with that. It makes a lot of sense. I don't know if you have any other ideas for other rooms, but if I had to guess, I would say the Kraken will receive an armory and a brig.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that seems pretty like almost a requirement for a ship like this. But are there any other rooms you could see this ship getting?
I think we're going to see something that has to do with refueling, fuel storage, something. I know they kind of showed that one image.
Yeah.
But we don't know if that's still in there, if it still exists or not.
This room here.
I think fabrication, as someone mentioned in chat, Rabbit mentioned, I think absolutely we're going to see some sort of fabrication. But yeah.
One of the things CIG did talk about in one of their previous PU monthly reports, Zendul, they did announce the Kraken. It is in production for release next year. One of the things they did mention is that they were rearranging, rescaling some of the rooms that were less important to gameplay, that were maybe just too big or occupied too much space in the ship, but that didn't really have any gameplay associated with them. I do believe the refueling room will shrink a little bit, the one that has those big tanks in it. Because they can always just sort of magic. It's still going to carry enough fuel for ships on its deck and everything, but I think just the scale of the room will shrink down. But still, even with that, there's a lot of unused, space on the ship here. If I bring up the cross section and we zoom into it, in one of the sneak peeks, and I have that sneak peek here, I know some people were really curious if this lit up area down here was an airlock. It does kind of look like an airlock located down here. And what the area of the ship that would line up with is this sort of empty gray area here. But what essentially that's showing is that there's a lot of other room in this ship to be filled out. We have a lot of traversal ways here, but there's still empty areas throughout the ship. And this is sort of a 2D cutaway. The ship is 100 meters wide in its widest point. The whole ship isn't 100 meters wide, but some of it is. So again, there's a lot of room in this ship to fill out. As a matter of fact, I think CIG is going to have to find ideas to sort of fill this ship out because there's going to be so many opportunities. I do think for example, one of the rooms we're going to get is some sort of room dedicated, well, essentially a giant freight elevator that can go from ground all the way up to some sort of cargo transfer room. I could see that being a thing. And then from the cargo transfer room, not the main cargo bay, but like a cargo transfer room, you can put it on a specific path to get to a specific deck, right? So if you need to get cargo to pad 06, or you need to get cargo down to one of the internal starboard hangars, I think CIG is probably putting a lot of work into how cargo moves throughout this ship.
So I've seen a lot of questions in chat about the tram system.
Yeah,
we touch on that.
The air car, which is right here. You can see it, the little air car here, which originally was going to be set up for 4 people and hold 12 SCU of cargo. What are some of our questions around the air car?
Just the people were wanting to know about one of it still was in there. Somebody said that they wondered if the hallway was large enough for a PTV or an STV to ride down through the central hallway.
More than likely. At least the PTV. More than likely. I guess it'll come down to how I don't think it's necessarily a size constraint that would prevent that. It's a design constraint. It'll come down to see if CIG wants the corridors to be narrow, or do they want to be the corridors to be wide? So it's going to be a design issue. From a space standpoint, I think the space is there to do that. You know, what else we got?
Do you think that they should bring back the bed logging specifically because the Kraken?
You know, I hadn't thought about that. But if you were going to bring back bed logging, the Kraken, and I would even say the Idris, but the Kraken specifically is really a ship that would utilize that tech in some interesting ways. I was just having a really interesting discussion in the STARJUMP Discord today with various people, and the whole discussion around friction came up and getting people together for multi-crew operations. Art, I know you do a lot of that in your org. And I was bringing up, you know, the ability like in WoW, where there's summoning stones where you can summon people to dungeon entrances to get dungeons done faster. I do wonder if there's a solution in Star Citizen with beds on ships like this, where when you log in, if you get a party invite for a ship that has beds on it, beds that are currently unused, and let's say maybe every person on the ship gets assigned a bed, then if there is an unused bed, it acts as a way for you to essentially teleport into the ship. I know there's some controversy around that because it takes away from the whole, hey, it's all real. You know what I mean? Everything needs to be realistic. You need to travel to the ship. But there, again, it goes back to that whole thing of there's points where that's fine. And there's also times where I want to be able to play the game with my friends. You know what I mean? And manning these giant ships is hard enough. We are going to need systems to reduce that friction. Now, maybe the idea I just had is a bad idea. Fine. But we're going to need ideas like that, right?
Well,
we're going to need ideas like that.
I think for like instancing, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
bringing the ship to the instanced area, you know, being able to summon people in. My only concern would be, you know, and I've seen this in a lot of other games where there's some sort of a summoning process or you spawning on a bed kind of situation. And that's when you get into some of these really, really large orgs and say, you know, you're attacking a ship and you've boarded that ship, right? And you are progressing through and you're trying to take that ship out. We'll use, you know, an Idris or a Javelin, for example. What's to stop this org from sending a message out real quick and having, you know, 100 people jump in?
Yeah.
And all of your work is now gone.
Yeah.
You know, and it kind of unbalances the fight sometimes. Within reason. I think, you know, maybe something with a population limit that you're allowed to have on that vessel that wouldn't affect maybe the life support would be a good kind of balancer for that.
Yeah. And you know, maybe it is one of the features that is preserved for capital ships. Yeah. You know what I mean? Maybe that's sort of, you know, we also, there's constantly this discussion around, well, what's the benefit of a big ship? Why not just take your small ships, right? It's just as effective. I do think there needs to be incentives to fly these big multi-crew capital ships. Maybe that is one of the incentives. I don't know. Real quick, everyone, we are about 5 minutes away from doing our giveaway. Okay. About 5 minutes away. One interesting thing that a lot of people don't know, this is kind of interesting. I know, Art, that you said this was something unknown to you, is that when the Kraken was first revealed, I think to get in the first couple waves, you actually had to write out a sort of paper that told how you or your org were going to use it in game. And via that, they sent out sort of hold positions to grab the ship. Does anyone in chat remember that? Does anyone remember the great Kraken essay thing? I don't know if maybe we have a few of those old timers in here. Vex Harpy says yes. Yes, it was. A lot of people don't realize that. I had that was how you kind of got into it at first.
So what was your essay then?
I did not.
I'm not asking you to Oh, okay. I
Yes,
didn't know if you
C Daddy
if
CIG says he was wave 7. Oh, nice. So I'll tell you how I got my Kraken. Here's how I got my Kraken. In 2021, me and my wife, we sold our house and we built a new house. But when we sold our house, like you do with a house, we ended up with a little profit. And she got to get her thing she wanted, and my thing I wanted was a Kraken. And the cool thing is because I had the hard cash to get it, I was able to get it with War Bond, which was slightly easier, just slightly. So I was able to snag it. By the way, thank you for the follows, Lord Floon and a Robo Girly Man. Appreciate that. So yeah, that's how I snagged mine. Yeah, C Daddy CIG Wave 7. That's dedication. I like it. I like it. A lot of people have been, and I've had a few discussions, a lot of people bringing up that old essay contest. Thank you for the subscribes, by the way, on YouTube. I do appreciate that. Circle of Owls and Illusion. Hopefully I said that right. A lot of people have been talking about with this battle cruiser, if there should be some special thing that qualifies you for the purchase. We don't know yet, but I often think back to the Kraken essay contest, which I don't know if is the right way to do it, but it was an interesting thing, nonetheless, that a lot of people don't know about the Kraken. A couple of other things really quick. If you want to watch a little bit on the Kraken, there's a video called CitizenCon 2948 Reverse the Verse live from CitizenCon. And it's essentially the Kraken reveal video. And in that video, it's John Crew and our good buddy Paul Jones, Paul Jones actually leaving Ubisoft and moving back to Manchester. Hope it all works out for him and his family. Paul Jones, we interviewed him on STARJUMP Station many years ago. It was this episode, though, where they revealed the Kraken with this really cool Kraken poster that I do not have, that I wish I had. I really wish I had that poster. But either way, they kind of go into it here. You can see the turntable of the Kraken here. Again, this is the concept model. But obviously, the Kraken being a unique concept ship in that they developed a really high fidelity concept model to use in a trailer. Again, usually concept ships do not get trailers. The Kraken did, again, just because of the scale and excitement behind it. There's some other really interesting things here. In my Kraken video, I went through some of those early concepts, so I went on that. But in part of this video here, you will see how some of the landing gear stuff works with the Kraken, which is really interesting to see. If you haven't seen that, I do encourage you, though, to go check out this video. They show one of the view areas on one of the turrets. Again, I'll grab this link for any of you that want to watch it later, of course. I just posted that down in chat. So again, just to CIG talking about how they plan out turret placement, stuff like that. You can once again in this animation see the really crazy landing gear. I think it should drop the really crazy landing gear animation that occurs once the Kraken deploys. It's crazy amount of landing gears. And the reason I'm talking about the landing gear so much is there is a kind of interesting aspect about that is related to the concept image. And I don't have the answer for it now. Here you go. You'll be able to see the landing gear animation here. We'll let it play out. I got it half speed. Oh, nope. Denied once again. Oh, here we go. You can see how the landing gears come out. Pretty complex. It's got a lot of them. Yes. A whole bunch of landing gears. Now, with those landing gears, you'll notice up front here, there was 4 landing gears that deployed first, including this big, massive main gear. But put aside the big, massive main gear for a second. There was 4 landing gears up front. If we go back to the sneak peek image, right here, you'll see those 4 big landing gears. There's one here, one here, one here, and one here, all in a row. Those 4 are those forward landing gears, with the main landing gear being somewhere here off screen to the left. Now, the interesting thing is that me and Trispone, you all know Trispone, we are going to make it a mission to take these landing gears along with the current model and use the people here and the mule to try to get a size ratio to get a better understanding of how big the Kraken is. Again, still think it's that 270 meters. I don't think it's grown massively, but the idea is that we're going to use that to sort of narrow down the Kraken scale. Now, I'm hoping I know CIG can't give us any hints, but I'm hoping at Defense Con, CIG will pull back the curtain on the Kraken reconcept, show us that interior layout once more. Again, much like they did with the Polaris back when the Polaris interior was redone, we're kind of at the same level with the Kraken. All we have is sort of a rough cutaway, which was the same as we had on the Polaris. We really don't know what the flow through of the ship is like. It would be nice to see that. Okay. So there we go. We'll see what we get with the Kraken this year. I'm very excited for it. It's been a long time coming. The ship was revealed in at the end of October 2018. It'll come out 2027, so about 9 years later. It's going to be a big deal. The Ironclad sort of heralds that Kraken coming next year, so that's why there's, I think, a lot of excitement around the Ironclad as well. Everyone knows I'm a big Drake fan, so we're going to have a very much a Drake-themed May. Again, as we said during the beginning of the show, it's going to be all about Defense Con this year, so I'm really excited for that. Once we get past Defense Con, an Invictus time period, we're looking at Alien Week with the Raylan. And then all targets are set on CitizenCon and IAE, where we know that they are targeting the Galaxy for release. Not a guarantee, but they're targeting the Galaxy for release. Art, while I get the contest for the med kit up and stuff, hit us with some Kraken questions, please, sir. Please and thank you.
Okay. Of course. Yes, boss. Whatever you say, boss. Here to serve you, boss. Back up to the top here. What do you think the possibility is that the Kraken Dragonfly Bay will be modular for things like a crafting bay or maybe a vertical missile launcher?
I put it at 50-50 right now. I really would. I put it at 50-50. The Mark II gave me a little hope that modularity is something that we're going to start seeing coming more and more and more. We got a little bit of that with the Apollo. We got that with some other the Retaliator and stuff. But I would like to see it come in a bigger way. I was pretty vocal in hoping that the Ironclad would be modular. But yeah, I think it's 50-50 right now. I think CIG is aware that the Dragonfly Bay could probably be used in other ways. So we'll have to see.
Okay, Arbiter of Mankind asked, do you think the Privateer will be delayed from the Kraken release?
Yes, 100%. As a matter of fact, CIG did mention that the Privateer is not in active development, but obviously a lot of work being done because the Kraken's in development.
Reaper 2057 asked, do we think the external pads are going to have shields, like some sort of shield protection?
The pad itself will. Ships on it are, depending on the scale of the ship could stick out from the bubble a little bit. The shields will be off the platform of the Kraken just a little bit. Maybe it's a meter or 2 or 3 meters, who knows? But depending on how much those shields stick out, maybe smaller, low-profile ships will sit below the shield. But bigger ships, like if you land a Railin on there, I think the Railin would easily stick out of the shield bubble and be vulnerable.
Keep It Secret asked, with the new tram system coming online, do you think that will change the Kraken's tram as well?
It very well could. I didn't think about that. Also, it depends on how they approach that air car and if it's going to be approached differently than a tram or an elevator. We'll have to see. But I think any of this transit tech is obviously going to filter into any new stuff that CIG does related to transit or transport. So yeah, I would hope it would.
Reaper again asked, that's 2057, if I set a bunch of cargo on top of the Kraken, will it fall off during flight or is it locked?
It's locked. Yep.
On the very
it is
top
mag locked. Yep.
Okay. Rugar Bloodmoon asked, do you think the Kraken will include an ASOP or a way to load ships to the hangars in hangar other than calling one and flying it in?
No. I think CIG even addressed that at one point. I don't believe it's going to have an ASOP terminal or anything like that. You'll be able to put ships on it in your hangar if you pull them out like you do now. Otherwise, ships are going to have to land on it. Yeah. Now, what I hope is that we get to a point where from your ASOP terminal of your hangar, you can pull up a ship and put ships on it from the ASOP terminal, as long as there's a pad for them. We'll have to see, though.
Rough Gaming Com asks, what colors do you want the Kraken in various places? So what color scheme are you looking at?
You know, I love my black and yellow, so I'm hoping we get a black and yellow Kraken. I think that would be really cool. I would love to get more kind of a gray navy, kind of navy slight blue tints. Could be cool in the Kraken as well, just looking more like an aircraft carrier. So yeah, those are probably the two color schemes I'm hoping we see.
Beg for Mercy, your good buddy.
Yeah.
Wants to know, why is Kraken greater than Idris?
Very easy. One, because it looks like the USS Flag G.I. Joe aircraft carrier. That alone is enough. But 100%. If we were going to add one more reason, I think it's just the flight deck, the open flight deck. You know, the way that the Idris carries ships is fine. But if any of you that have flown a ship into the Idris knows that, and I'm sure there's some of you that can just slide it in there like pros, but for a lot of us, it is a slowdown moment, is a moment where you have to come way down in speed, get alignment set, land, you know, properly and all that. In a heavy combat situation, that is going to be difficult. I do think the Kraken is better set up for flight, like carrier operations, than the Idris. I think it's a better carrier ship. It's obviously more vulnerable. The ships are out on the open flight deck, but I also don't think you take the Idris, or sorry, I don't think you take the Kraken head on into the battle. If you're smart, you'll hold it back, and it's servicing all your other ships. So it's not is it better or worse than the Idris? It's more how you're going to use it, and I definitely think that Kraken has a much, much better flight operations sort of layout because of its open deck. You're going to be able to have ships to take off and land from any direction and at the same time, which you cannot do in the Idris. So, one last question. Do we have one last question before we get to the giveaway?
I think we have one last question.
All right.
How do you think the Kraken is going to be earned in game? Is it Wicklow bound or something similar with Drake? I can't see a $1,500 ship being earnable with UEC.
I think every ship that you can purchase for real money, you'll eventually be able to earn in game with UEC. I think you'll even be able to craft Krakens. You'll be able to get the blueprint. You'll be able to craft them. Look, if CIG has intent on letting us craft a Bengal, what's a Kraken? You know what I mean? The Bengal's like a 1,000-meter long ship. Easily we'll be able to craft a Kraken. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't think that's going to be a problem. I think you're going to be able to craft Krakens and Idrises and Javelins and all that stuff.
I think you're going to get, I don't think Wicklow is going to be the only kind of ship customizer.
Yeah, I don't either.
We're going to get in the near future. I think once we get other systems in, whether we have maybe Wicklow and Stanton, but maybe we may have somebody in Pyro that's different, or Nyx that's going to kind of specialize. I think they're going to spread those out a little bit more, and the requirements are going to change. I do agree with you. I think we are going to be able to craft pretty much everything in the verse in that we're allowed to fly. Via crafting, but until we get to that point, I could see it being not necessarily a Wicklow thing, but maybe something adjacent.
We just lost your camera, by the way, but it's okay.
Oh,
I got your backup image just in case.
Just in case. Cool. I like it. Let's do that from now on.
Cool. We can do that for the moment. If your camera comes back on, great. Oh, there it is. I think that I saw VG ask, is the Kraken more sort of military, or is it more industrial? I think that's the beauty of the Kraken, is it can kind of be anything. And that was why it was an easy choice for me for that initial capital ship purchase, was that it could kind of be a lot of things for me. And by being a lot of things, that means it can also earn its keep. It can sort of pay for itself in the verse, pay for those upkeep costs, right? And that was important to me. All right, everybody, we're going to do the giveaway right now for the med kit. You know how we're going to do it. You know how we usually do it. We're going to pull a random YouTube comment. We're going to pull a winner from Stream Elements. We're going to put you both in the random wheel of names, and whoever wins wins. If you win, you got to contact me on Discord via STARJUMP_Grim. Okay, you got to get in contact with me. Hope you all enjoy. Before we do this, you all have been incredible with the St. Jude raffles. We have a bunch of St. Jude raffles going on right now with our first drawing on Thursday. Going to be a big show. We're going to cover the Hull B. Yes, I'm giving away a Hull B. We're going to talk all things Hull B. It's going to be a big Hull episode. We're going to do our Perseus giveaway, our raffle drawing. It's going to be a really exciting episode, so I do really appreciate it. Thank you for the stretch and Senderder. Hopefully I got that right. Isnerder? Yeah, Isnerder. Thank you for those donations tonight. We had a number of big donations. We had that massive one from Lady Violet. Several of you donated $300 or more. Donations all the way up and down the spectrum, which is super appreciated. It all adds up, everyone. We passed a couple milestones. Okay. And now we are almost at $10,000 raised. $250 away. How cool is that? How epic is that?
Legends.
That is epic.
It's double. It's double.
Yes, we are at the top of the St. Jude Play Live fundraising charts for the Play Live so far, and that is all due to you. It's not due to me or anyone even on the STARJUMP team. That is the community coming out, kicking doors down, making things happen. I give you my big salute. If we did not get to your question tonight, I will get to it on Thursday's show. We need stuff to fill the show anyway, because it's going to be kind of a long show that night, or obviously stay as long as you can. But it's going to be kind of a long show that night, 3 hours or so, whatever. And we got a lot to do, but I will get to questions, okay? All right, let's go ahead and do the giveaway. First up is the random YouTube comment. Hopefully you get your YouTube comment in there. We put the date for April 6th, starting at 7 p.m., which is when we started to stream. We're going to go ahead and pick a random comment. Good luck to everybody. And I hate how this window comes up now. All right, Damian Valiant, thank you very much. Putting you in the random wheel of names. Congratulations, you're a semi-finalist, Damian Valiant. And then over on Stream Elements, hopefully you all did exclamation ticket or exclamation ticket space Max. Going to close the giveaway in 5, 4, 3, 2, and...
Oh, hey, before you click something,
yes.
I just looking at this bean counter, sir.
Yeah.
We got 10. I think we need to at least make that 8.
Yeah, we should do 2 beans tonight. I'm gonna, you know, at the end of St. Jude, I'm gonna have to just down an entire barrel of these things.
Probably.
We're gonna do 2 beans here. So
I think while the random wheel of name is spinning, maybe
we'll do. We will.
We bean it.
We will. Let's go ahead and close the giveaway. And now, giveaway's closed. Let's draw a winner and then scroll to the bottom. All right, it's VFGP. VFGP, congratulations. You're a semifinalist. We're going to put you in the random wheel of names. Now, remember, to those of you in the random wheel of names, if you win, you need to contact me on Discord. STARJUMP_Grim. I will verify it's you, and then I will get your email from you and award you the giveaway. Okay. All right, we're going to spin it now, but before we spin it, let's go ahead and get our 2 beans. We're going to do a double barrel bean challenge again here because of all the money raised, which has been incredible. So close to that 10K. I pulled 2 beans up right from the get-go, and I don't like this color combo. This is not a good color combo. Let me hold these up. Yeah, this is not good. I already know. There's my color combo. What we're looking at here is either booger or juicy pear, or stink bug and toasted marshmallow. That is not a good mix, everyone.
I think I've got you beat here.
No,
I've got liver and onions or cappuccino with wet dog or banana. So neither one of those combinations are great.
Yikes. Okay. Everyone, the money you have donated tonight has been seriously amazing. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. When I say I love you all, I'm not just saying that. I say it because there is no community like you all. The STARJUMP community is seriously incredible. Seriously incredible. So close to 10,000. Thank you all. Here we go. Down and out. And I'm going to hit the spin wheel here as soon as we put them in our mouth. And we're going.
Oh, cappuccino dog.
No. I don't like it.
Oh.
I don't like it. VFGP. That's not good. VFGP. Congratulations. Oh, God, there's a vomit aftertaste. I just got hit with a vomit aftertaste. It's not good. C Daddy CIG. I'm going to send you some beans. Okay. You need to be doing this with us. It's not good.
I can't do it. Oh, this hurts. This hurts.
It's affecting my motor skills. It's affecting my motor skills. What did I get? I definitely got booger. And I think I did get stink bug. So I think what I got. Yeah, I got a stink bug booger mix. That's what I got. It's not good. And what's worse about it, Aaron Boy, is not even the taste. It's what it does to your saliva. It makes all of your saliva taste like the jelly bean. It's quite bad.
Oh, I got it down. Oh.
But the worst thing, Aaron Boy, is that you can't swallow the damn thing. It just will not go down.
It sits there.
Lady Violet asks, what's the 10K goal? Let me check out. Okay. The 10,000 goal is I will do a stream, which will be a game night with my wife, with Mrs. Grimm. She's not a big gamer. She doesn't understand Star Citizen. She appreciates it. She understands
somewhat competitive.
But we'll play Golf with Friends. We'll play Phasmophobia. Hell, maybe I'll get her in Star Citizen. But it will be with Mrs. Grimm, my wife, who is amazing. And that it still won't go down. It still won't go down. So yeah, 10K is gaming with the wife. We'll stream that. You'll get to see her stumble through these games. Okay. All right, got it down. It finally went down. VFGP, congratulations on winning the med kit. Legendary. All you got to do is contact me via Discord, StarJump_Grimm. Do appreciate it. Now, everyone.
Mrs. Grimm do beans?
Mrs. Grimm will be doing the beans too. Yes, she has to do the beans too. If you're on the St. Jude stream, you got to do the beans. That's the rule. That is the rule. Everyone, again, go ahead.
My work schedule is completely blocked up. I'm not going to be available for any of these future times, and I apologize.
That's okay. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, we'll see. VFGP, I see VFGP in chat. Congratulations. I'm gonna whisper you right now in Twitch. VFGP, you just won the med kit. Okay, you won the med kit. Congratulations. I just whispered you congrats. All you got to do is send me your email. I'll probably send the med kit out to you tomorrow. So VFGP, don't worry. It says you're at work. Don't worry. You can whisper me back tomorrow whenever, and I will get you your med kit. Congratulations. Now, everyone, do not, before you go, again, here are the raffles. Perseus this week. Someone on Thursday is getting an RSI Perseus from the St. Jude raffles going on. $40 buy-in for that towards our Tiltify link, which are, if you're able to post that, that'd be great. I don't know if you have it. Do our Tiltify link, or you can scan that QR code down there. It is greatly appreciated. Someone is going home with an RSI Perseus on Thursday. Also, Thursday will start our Whole Bee giveaway. The Whole Bee giveaway will be drawn on that Sunday. Okay, the following Sunday. Okay, for those of you excited about that. Okay, that was a good stream. We had a damn good stream. We raised a hell of a lot of money. I really enjoyed having you. I enjoyed having you on camera, Art. It was amazing. And by the way, everyone, I want you to look down at the bottom far right lower corner. StarJump now has a lifetime raised of $50,308. That's insane. That's insane. That's kind of that's silly. That's getting crazy. I want to do a big shout out to everyone that donated tonight, whether you donated $20, $4, $300, or if you went real crazy, like Lady Violet, and donated. Oh, for God's sakes! See, I was trying to salute.
No, they said we're not done yet.
They did.
We're not done yet.
So now I got to shout them out. Lady Violet donating groceries for her family for 2 weeks, which is a huge thing. A $300 donation. Lady Violet, everyone in chat, give Lady another 07. She deserves it. And then our good buddy, Rage One, who donated so much last year. Incredible. Rage One coming in with a $265 donation. I think you two were trying to battle each other towards the Merchantman and Mercury and Avenger starter. You are both amazing. You're both amazing. It's pushing us to $10,315 raised. The Star Jump and Star Citizen community is incredible. It's amazing. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. That being said, I am a little bit speechless right now. I don't know what to say. I will say this, though. I will say this. I have been thinking of ways to thank our donators. I've been thinking about this, and I've got a few ideas. I haven't totally locked it down yet, but I have a few ideas on how to properly thank those of you donating money to this incredible cause. More on that soon, but definitely before we get out of this St. Jude Play Live period for April and May, you will know what that is.
We send everybody beans.
Send everyone a pack of beans. We'll all do it. Rage One says, I vote Star Citizen with Miss Grimm. Yeah, that may very well happen. That may very well happen. But yes, Lady Violet, Rage One coming in with those end of stream donations. That is absolutely insane how fast we have to keep making new milestones. We're going to have a 15K milestone. It's got to be a big one. Like, I don't know what it is. We're going to have to think of something really big. Everyone, you are amazing. I'm going to find someone to raid tonight. I think I know who we're going to raid. We are going to raid longtime friend of STARJUMP's. And also, again, big thanks to you, all of you. Everyone in chat, salute. Rabbit07, I agree with you. C Daddy CIG, tell all the stakeholders that we need a Kraken poster when it comes out next year. We need a Kraken poster, a physical poster that we can order. Okay. Yeah. You all are amazing. That was an incredible amount of money. $10,315. I see info runners. It's execute in chat. Execute. I hope you're doing well, buddy.
Of course, he shows up at the very end.
He shows up at the end because he doesn't want to get involved in these beans.
He doesn't want to get involved. No.
Everyone, we're going to raid Yo-Yo Meg. I want you to give Yo-Yo Meg some of that Star Jump love. She's doing some blueprint grinding. So make sure you give her some Star Jump love. I will be back on Thursday, hopefully with Art, where we will do everything Hull B. We're going to go in deep on the Hull B, and we're going to do a Perseus raffle drawing. Okay?
It's going to be
all
epic.
Right. Yes. All right, everyone. Have a great night. We're going to start the raid. Don't forget to do something kind for a stranger. None of this would be possible without all of you. Okay, none of this would be possible. Big thanks to C Daddy CIG for showing up in chat. Always love when he comes by. Do appreciate that. All my buddies in Enemy Contact. I'm going to send you over there now. Everybody have a great and wonderful night. Salute to you all. Big love for the St. Jude support. Appreciate it. All right, Twitch is away, and now YouTube is away. Goodbye.